which was
Sorry.
Look, I enjoyed it. I was cool seeing it, but taping for a typical sitcom would probably be about 20 minutes, including commercials.
Michael and Brianna and friends, I'm going.
All right, bye, Mom.
Bye. Don't come. Bye. Brianna down there?
Yeah, she's coming up.
No, it's all right. I'm just supposed to say goodbye.
So can we
I love you. See you later.
Love you.
Can we take a break?
Have a good time.
Yeah.
I will. Oh, well, looks like we found our cold open.
You should have got the whole thing.
We did. We're still rolling.
Yeah.
Choose your character.
We don't have a catchy thing anymore because we won't fuck up this time.
Yeah. So
Because we're all comfortable. They got back support. My legs probably won't fall asleep.
I got that hemorrhoid removed.
support for my homies. If I was a chair, I'd be supporting my homies and their backs.
No, just dead air. Don't say anything. Just let it hang.
All right. So, how's that make you feel?
So let's do a proper intro. Welcome back to Choose Your Character. If this is the first time you're listening, we are a comedy podcast of three guys talking about the things we love, like movies, comics, video games,
The things I love,
etc., etc.,
like
etc.
Russia and communism.
We're not communists.
We're
I
not
feel like
communists?
I have to clarify every time we say something. I'm not into Roblox. I hate Five Nights at Freddy's.
I'm not into Roblox.
Sisto is not a communist.
Yeah, I'm not. You caught
Was that
me.
a legitimate concern that Sisto was a communist?
I mean, yeah.
You don't know, man. Now we have anonymous people looking into our shit.
Exactly.
That's true. We're almost at 100 likes on our Facebook
Am I
page.
that
I know
one
it's.
red hand?
What was
Who
that?
knows? Am I that one invisible red hand?
Yeah.
Who knows?
All right, so
Yeah, so welcome back. Thanks for joining us and joining with us and sitting around, driving your car, stuff like that, whatever you're doing.
Sitting in on a snow day with a cup of hot chocolate and
Yeah,
some
it's
coffee.
currently really shitty outside
Yeah.
up here in southern. Well,
So-
are we up here or
southern
down here
somewhere.
in southern Jersey?
Yeah.
are we considered down in South Jersey?
Well, we're
Yeah,
down
but
in my
like
basement,
in respect to like the entire country, because like if like Florida, we're like down here in Florida, but like if we're in Maine, we're like up here in Maine.
So. Up here in Maine. Here in Canada.
Yeah, I mean
That's not that.
I said Canada. I know Maine's
Okay.
not in Canada. Come on.
All right, so
Canada.
read energy interesting this week. I actually did.
Well, first, I actually have a correction because I'm a effing idiot. I said so. The last episode, I said that the Oscars were on one weekend, and we actually all got together at our friend Mark's house to watch it.
And
At
guess
least-
what wasn't on?
Yeah, but we
Yeah,
watched.
the thing is, though, I would have told you that because I was like, I couldn't make the Oscar viewing. I was like, oh, look, I'll look at the highlights. And I was like, oh, it's not till next week. I guess
There are no
Mike meant
highlights.
next week. And then I just sent the message. I was like, Mike, did you get people together the wrong week?
Okay, so the night wasn't lost. We did watch Guy Fieri and that one cooking show where he
Guy
has
who?
Guy Fieri. That's how you pronounce it.
Guy Fieri.
It's not Fieri. It's Fieri. You didn't know that?
No. He was way too American to put an Italian accent on that last name.
Your ass just got taken to Flavortown. How's that make you feel?
Well, it was that. So it was that cooking show where he like has that fake grocery store.
Guys
and they have-
Grocery Games.
Yeah,
Triple
guys.
G.
Yeah, that one. Triple G.
Triple G.
G.
Put some respect on guy's name. Put
Yeah.
some respect on it.
So anyway, what have you guys seen, read anything interesting over the past 3 weeks?
I heard Will Ferrell. I heard Will Smith isn't returning as Deadshot. Oh,
Yeah.
no, don't clap. He's literally...
Will Smith returning as Will Smith portraying Deadshot.
Other than Margot Robbie, which is the only reason people watched that, Suicide Squad. It was that and Will Smith. And Will Smith
I
played
watched
Will
it for
Smith,
Jared Leto.
playing Will Smith, pretending to be Jetshot.
I mean, that's what it was.
That's literally what it was, and I thought it was good.
I just didn't like the movie.
The movie in general was
Nothing
horrible.
against Will Smith.
I didn't like the movie either.
I love Will Smith.
I
but
think it's kind of universally panned. But yeah, so I mean, he's got that blue thing going on with Aladdin. He's got that going for him.
he also has Bright. That Netflix.
Yeah.
I actually wonder if Bright 2 will come out. I actually liked Bright.
I liked
thought-
it a lot too. I actually thought it was a nice little franchise Netflix is trying to get started, even though it got smacked by critics. So
Yeah,
a
but
lot of
that's-
people hated it.
Not a lot. I know. I think it was mixed reviews.
I enjoyed it, but I feel like it's at the beginning of the movie. You kind of are like, all right, so why is all this prejudice like against the goblins or
Because
I forget
you know
they're
what
called.
happened? I think it was
Orcs.
failed publicity. Because if I followed the main Bright Facebook page before the movie came out, and they released like short lore videos
yeah.
before the movie came out, but I'm just like, you should have added that as like a segment to like Bright, like additions and features or something.
I feel like there's. Yeah, I can't. The comparison I was gonna make would have been wrong, but I just feel like there's a lot they could have added into the movie to make us more understand the position they were in. Although, being, the kind of the position they were in, the prejudice is something as Americans that we can relate to and is familiar in the extent that it kind of resembles how African American people were being prejudiced against by the police, and they kind of resembled that, but instead making them work. So I feel like there's a lot of things people could piece together with that. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think
I didn't see it, so I can't make
Yeah.
any comments on it.
They do. You're right. I think it represents society,
which is
and all
why I
that.
think I'm sure this is
But
one of the reasons why the producers didn't think, oh well, we really don't have to go that in depth because people really already understand
I would
to an
like.
extent.
I do like what they tried to do. Like
I
not
do too.
not even resembling today's society. You put fantasy in the modern era,
Yeah,
but you're right.
exactly.
Yeah, but I didn't see it, so I mean, like I said, I can't make any comments on it. But so Sister, did you see anything interesting this week? Read
To be
anything?
quite honest with you, I've had my head in my books, so I haven't. Other than stock
Studious.
market news, I really haven't seen anything. Oh, okay. So here's one.
Yeah.
So Nintendo had a special edition Pokemon Nintendo Direct, and they announced their newest generation of Pokemon, their main series game, and to great response. A lot of people were hype over it. It's all over Facebook, social media in general. But the next day, Nintendo jumped up 2%, Nintendo's stock, that is. And then the next day, it went back down. So, a lot of people pumped money into it somewhat unjustifiably. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, we're getting a new Pokemon. That's definitely great. Let's Go is a big hit, and this next generation game is.
Yeah, I heard.
Okay.
I heard Let's Go was what the top selling Switch game. Was that correct? Or
It might still be Breath of the Wild, but I have to check.
yeah. But yeah. I mean, I'm excited. I played some of Sun and Moon. I wasn't too big of a fan. I am a fan of the subreddit that came out of it, which is the Executor. Is that what it's called? The palm tree Pokemon. with
Executor.
Please
Executor.
don't, I don't. Let me guess. I didn't see it. I haven't heard of the Reddit. It's literally the egg. The palm tree Pokemon is a guillotine, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
So
Literally, Executor, looking back, it's one of the only Pokemon from Gen 1 I could not understand the reference to. Like, Execute, yeah, makes sense. It's a pile of friggin' eggs sitting in the middle of the world, but
Dude, I love that you.
Executor was just three dopey-looking eggs sitting on a pineapple, so, I mean...
I love the UK memes that came out of this. It's freaking hilarious. It's just I don't know, everybody complaining in the UK, and I think one of the bigger groups of memes was literally Pokemon having to deal with Brexit.
Jesus Christ. God has left the game.
Jesus.
But yeah, so the subreddit with the executor or yeah, so the pin post at the top is the head, right, with the branches and everything. So that way, all of the posts are different segments of its neck. So people will like add different things to it, and it's a fun subreddit. I mean, the jokes. The one thing about subreddits that are joke based is that it will gain the people that find that joke funny and will always like see that joke as an evergreen joke, and then everyone else just kind of falls away and doesn't care about it anymore. So they'll end up with like 2,000 subscribers, but like 50 people active. Yeah.
I'm thinking of the one meme where it's just like someone did voice audio and it's like, "Oh, Slag, you want to have a cheeky Pokemon fight?" And then one of us just goes, "It's the Pope Catholic, you cheeky tot."
Do I look like a fucking octopus?
Oi, Lottie.
Yeah, Mungie has been sending us a video
So many
of
British
the
memes.
so he sent us one a few weeks ago of the princess from Brave. I didn't see the movie, so I don't know her name. And it's from Wreck-It Ralph 2, when they're all sitting around and like she's going on around and it's like, I was in a drive-thru and they asked me if I wanted a cup holder. Well, of course I do want a cup holder. Do I look like a fucking octopus?
So another thing that I saw was during the Oscars, Rami Malek won Best Actor.
My
Yeah,
boy,
we're gonna go
I
on
am
to that.
so happy.
Episode
Wait.
1, I called it. I was rooting for him.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, but like,
Do you want
I
to switch
didn't.
into our next segment?
Yeah,
well, so
we'll go into that.
So our next segment on the good old-fashioned itinerary here.
I was going to look it up. Do you actually got paperwork?
What
I was going to look it up. Do you actually got paperwork?
for?
The Oscars and Razzies?
Oh yeah, I got it all here.
Look at you.
I'm all prepared, man. So next up we have. Well, first I just wanted to talk about the we had a death in the world of television and streaming. Punisher is no longer with us.
Oh my god, you got my heart rate going up.
Man,
I thought you found out something today.
I almost thought you were going to talk about the Jonas Brothers hiatus or something.
No, I said we're not talking about it.
I didn't see it yet, but I saw all their outfits for their announcement photo all look like they raided Michael Cera's closet. So they
Speaking of Michael Cera, guess what's coming back on Netflix?
Arrested Development. I've been watching it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I stopped watching. There's the original. Was that for 3?
It's for 4 seasons. 5? Well, it was. I mean, so
What was
there's
the
4
original
seasons
before
on
Netflix
Fox.
ruined them?
4 seasons on Fox. And then they got sued by the band Arrested Development because of the name. They claimed it was copyright infringement, and that's pretty much what ended the show, to my knowledge. I remember hearing something about that on an interview one time.
yeah, and then Netflix picked it up, and then the director rearranged one of the seasons to his liking. I think that was season 5.
And it stunk.
Yeah.
It was bad. Arrested Development was one of the funniest shows I've ever watched. Like
I
the
thought it
original
was too, but the
incarnation,
new incarnation of it.
it's just not funny.
Because you know
you
why?
can't get away with that humor anymore.
No, it's
can't.
not getting away with the humor.
Yeah, it's not so much of that.
The shots are different because everybody is famous. They can't shoot in the same groups at the same time anymore.
Yeah, I would say everybody in that group, with the exception of... No, pretty much everyone in that group has gone on to bigger and better things. I mean, Jason Bateman,
Yeah.
Michael Cera, Jeffrey Tambor, was
not
big
Will
going
Forte.
into it.
Michael Cera's in a band now.
Is he?
No,
I
he's
didn't
not.
know
Yeah.
that. You're kidding.
Is it called Sad?
No, I think it's like, I want to say it's a punk band or like some sort of indie band. Punk and indie are two
Is this
very
a Scott
different
Pilgrim
genres.
joke?
No, I'm serious. I'm pretty sure he's in a band.
God, I hate
All
it.
right.
I hated Scott Pilgrim.
All right.
I hate
You
Michael
hated Scott
Cera.
Pilgrim?
I hate Michael Cera.
Why?
Because... Don't shake your head.
Yeah, we have a special guest on here. My girlfriend Alexis
Yeah,
is
shout out
sitting
to
over on
Lexi
the
shaking
couch.
her head.
Yeah,
But
my
no,
girlfriend's currently upstairs talking to my grandmother, so...
mine's in Maine, so... Yeah. All right.
I guess you can say
Hey,
she's your
Say I have to
main
pay
chick.
respects.
Okay. I hate Michael Cera, and here's why.
Drum roll.
You know when you're typecast, don't stop. You know when you're typecast into one role. What bothers me is just Michael Cera is the type of guy that just wanders on the set and just plays sad, and that's his role.
I mean,
I wouldn't say plays sad, more like dull.
Dull.
Plays a dull character.
he just plays an awkward teenager.
Exactly.
I mean,
In
that's
what he
every
looks
goddamn movie.
Okay.
well, that's not really his fault though. 'Cause,
Yes,
like,
it is.
Well,
No,
I
it's
mean,
not.
if he's typecasted, then it's not his fault. It's just that's how it is. It's you know, acting is still a job, so you got to make money somehow.
You know what his best role to me is? This Is the End.
Yeah,
Because he
I thought
didn't
was good.
play Michael
Well,
Cera.
he played
actually acted.
He played Michael Cera. Yeah.
He actually acted,
But
like
an embellished
asshole.
version of
Yeah.
Michael Cera.
Well, yeah. I mean, all the the characters in the movies were exaggeration. Wasn't Channing Tatum like a gimp or something? Yeah.
Forget.
My favorite line in that movie is just getting cut to cameras. Is like, yeah, Hermione stole our shit because Emma Watson just robs them.
Yeah. I mean, I Scott Pilgrim's one of my favorite movies. I'm proud about it. It is what it is, but
I mean, I'm kind of ashamed.
I mean, I have many favorite movies, but that is certainly one of them. I just got a text message from Mrs. Lexi Boo Bear with Michael Cera standing with Snooki. Thanks for that. That's I don't know who Sammy is, but
She's the one that goes, Ryan, stop.
that doesn't help. Does not help. See, that's one of the things about New Jersey is that when that show was popular, that it was seen as a representation of the entirety of New Jersey. I remember going on
Dude, when I was in
vacation.
fucking high school, I went to one where you wore uniforms, and then dress down day freshman years was Ed Hardy, and I was just...
Ugh. Ed Hardy, man.
Oh my
See, I
god.
didn't know about Jersey Shore until I got out of Catholic school. So.
Well, so it hit Jersey
Yeah,
Shore
God
hit
kept
when
him.
both Sisto and I were in middle school. So that was when it was big. I remember it was like 7th or 8th grade. It kind of died down by high school.
Middle school, the years of Justin Bieber and Jersey Shore.
So, we'll do one more segue before we get to the Oscars, because you have an article that you want to share. Or do you want to wait till later?
Are you looking at me?
I'm looking at Sisto.
What? What article? No, this was for my segment a little further down.
Oh, I'm just butchering this. I'm sorry.
It's
Come on,
okay.
man.
Well, I kind of wanted to talk. So we never really talked about what we were supposed to talk about here about
Yeah.
the Marvel cinematic universe or televerse on Netflix.
Cinematic Unitella.
I guess it's technically the
Cinematic
televerse.
pile of garbage.
So
of
I
these
only-
Netflix TV shows made by Marvel Studios.
You didn't like them?
I couldn't even look.
Oh,
They get a lot of bad. I get a lot of bad rep for this opinion, but I didn't.
And you're
like
going to
it.
get bad rep now?
Because, yeah, okay. Look, the only one I watched Daredevil, and it was like I was like, can you just get on with the plot? Like I already know the main villain's gonna be Kingpin.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I watching this soap opera with him?
Oh,
Like,
you're...
See, I only watched.
I couldn't make it past the first season for that
Daredevil
reason.
is drama, though.
Punisher, I liked because he's going face to face with Micro, and that's like comic book Punisher. Like he does that for a stint, and I thought
Munchie's
that was
currently
really cool.
Picard
And the way John
face
Bernthal played
palming
it
right
was
now.
badass. And yeah,
Mungie's-
Mungie's gonna hate me. Go ahead.
How do you hate Daredevil? Like, the point of Daredevil is always that argument of morality because he's a Catholic fighter, in a way. He's
Because
a
I
Catholic
like-
superhero that feels like you shouldn't kill, you shouldn't do this.
I guess
and
I didn't read enough Daredevil then.
You should. It's worth it.
It's funny. I have a sick original copy of Daredevil #6, so I really should.
I'll get
You know.
all right.
Yeah, I watched first season of Daredevil. I didn't really pick it up after that because what happened was I was watching it. I was legitimately watching it, and then I got distracted by homework or something, and then I looked up and I was 4 episodes from where I was, and I was just like, that's 4 hours of time that I need to invest again. And then like I kept putting it off, and then it just never happened. And now they're canceled, so it doesn't really matter anymore. So. But so that I mean that brings up the point that like so now that Marvel and Disney and everything is now kind of branching off of Netflix, that there's now this oversaturation of OTT networks, which stand for over the top television, which is basically anything that is not wired to your cable box.
I was
So
gonna
like
say
Roku,
original.
Netflix, and
Well, just streaming services in general, like it's so originally like you had the whole trend of cord cutting, which was really popular among our age groups because Netflix and Hulu were both like they were cheaper than just paying for traditional cable and just you just paid for internet. But now cord cutting is coming up to like where the price that cable is at now. So like it doesn't even matter that to cord cut.
well, that's just how its market moves. With any new inception that catches traction, that stuff happens.
Yeah,
so.
and I mean, we are going to get that super saturation of streaming service because everyone's going to try to buy in. CBS has its thing. Hulu is great because it's kind of a conglomerate of different television show or stations.
It's
because-
literally, it's because I'm too lazy. One of my favorite shows is MASH, and I'm really reaching how old my tastes are by mentioning MASH.
It's all right. I'm a huge fan of the Andy Griffith Show. So
I didn't know Ron Howard was in the Andy Griffith
little
show.
Ronnie.
Wait, you
Howard.
didn't know that?
No,
didn't know he was
I didn't
Opie?
I didn't know until I was watching Arrested Development and they made a joke about it, and I was just like, oh, that's
But
him.
it's also the reason I'm trying to get my dad to watch Hulu because...
Do they have MASH on there?
Oh, yeah, no, they have the whole
Get
series.
out.
Well, I also have the whole
nice.
physical copy, too.
Hulu's got a lot of great television. That's why I've always thought that Hulu was for television.
I've been looking
Netflix
into
is for
Roku
movies.
a lot lately.
Yeah, and like Sling, and like
Sling, yeah,
so
that's-
you have that in like Apple TV,
They're,
which is
they're like becoming more competitive to Netflix as of recent. So
yeah. So you have CBS has their thing now. NBC is part of Universal, so that's Hulu with
You
a bunch
think-
of other stations.
You think the next best thing would be to... what would be the word? Conglomerize
CBS
these...
is Disney. Disney owns
okay.
CBS.
Did I say CBS? I meant NBC.
No, I'm just saying in general. Well, CBS has Disney too, so
Well,
You
but
figure-
CBS has their own thing because
Exactly.
they have.
I didn't think you said that. So that's why I was.
Well, yeah.
throwing it
So
in, too.
CBS has their own streaming service that has that new series of Star Trek.
Okay.
That I have yet to watch. And
I haven't
me
watched it either.
My favorite sci-fi series is on TV other than Firefly was Star Trek Next Generation. I
Yeah,
have yet
that's
to
on
watch.
Netflix.
I've been actually... You know what I'm actually caught up on? I'm actually caught up on The Orville, which is Seth MacFarlane's
I've heard
like,
that's
Star
better than
Trek.
the new the
Yeah,
new
it's
Star
been-
Trek.
And it's considered better than the new Star Trek. Because you have a die-hard Star Trek fan that created that Orville universe.
Seth MacFarlane.
Seth
Seth
MacFarlane.
MacFarlane is a die-hard Star
Seth
Trek
MacFarlane
nerd.
just puts a bad taste in my mouth.
Do
The
tell,
thing is,
why?
though,
Why?
I know Family
Just-
Guy is cringy humor.
Family
It's-
Guy. I kind of grew out of Family Guy.
Yeah, but
and like
if,
American Dad and
if you
and
grew
stuff
out of
like that.
Family Guy and American Dad and all that, hear me out. Give the Orville a chance because it has some of that Family Guy Seth MacFarlane humor, but
That's what I've heard. I've heard.
He-
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
God damn it, Mike.
Well, I've heard that it has a hard time like figuring out if it wants to be a comedy or it wants to be a drama.
Well, it's kind of like how MASH. I'll compare it to MASH because it was a comedy first, and then they realized they can get away with more drama.
Yeah.
Which was new for it at the time. I think that balance is really good. But I don't know. I would suggest to give that a chance.
Yeah, but so Disney has a streaming service they're going to launch, which is probably going to be it's more than the other streaming services is going to be in direct competition with Netflix since they're pulling shows from Netflix and movies. Infinity War was going to be the last movie they put on there, I think, or the last Marvel movie at least.
Oh wow.
If there's two things that would have to happen for me to drop Netflix. I'll give you guys more of a chance to watch if you guys haven't watched Umbrella Academy.
I want to see it. I
it's
saw that
really good.
it's all the former Scene kids are freaking out about it because the lead singer of My Chemical Romance wrote it.
That really?
That's not for
Yep.
me.
Oh, that's probably why.
That's absolutely not.
No,
for
no,
me.
no, no, Mike, you like
Oh,
it.
it's not that type of.
It's not that
culture.
type of show.
It's
It's actually based on a Dark Horse comic.
that he
Really?
wrote. That he
Yeah.
wrote. Yeah.
Well, I
It's-
don't read Dark Horse really.
Well, give it a chance.
It's so it's kind of like X-Men where it's these like mutants all together. in one house.
Are you talking about the one where they like get abducted or like
So,
taken and they get
so the premise,
experimented on?
so the premise of the Umbrella Academy, excuse me, is that one day there was 43 people in the
I know
world that
exactly
gave
what you're talking about.
that gave birth, but they were not pregnant.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And
I actually
some
saw
of
it.
the and they got
Did I say I wanted to see that movie, Brianna?
yeah. And an eccentric billionaire bought like 7 of them, which is
Bought.
kind of weird. No, it's cheap.
That's
He
really
bought
weird.
them.
So Annie.
Annie. I don't think Annie was
Annie.
bought.
Can we not? Can
She
we
was
not?
just an orphan. Well, come on, let's not monetize Annie here. She was not sold. That was no. Daddy Warbucks had money, but he didn't buy Annie.
Can we switch to the Oscars?
Daddy Warbucks was a millionaire. Death to the millionaires. Gritty's a communist. Gritty looks like Karl Marx. I showed that.
Please stop.
I showed that to Lex because I was like, you know that Gritty's a communist, and she didn't get it. And I was like, do you know what Karl Marx looks like? And she was like, no. And then
Oh shit!
we got to snort.
Go fuck yourself.
No, it's all right, Sisto. I get there.
Go fuck
I
yourself.
hate that.
I also want to make another complaint here. So recently I started. I downloaded a bunch of emulators. I bought Nintendo. I'm sorry if you're listening.
Fuck emulators.
Why does
Well,
your
I don't
girlfriend
condone
look
emulators.
so aggravated?
We don't
from-
condone emulators here at Choose Your Character.
Well,
Buy
so-
your games.
Well, okay. Well, anyway,
Unless you
I don't
wanna read
have
comics
the
for free.
money to buy the consoles that I want right now. Anywho, so I got one for N64 and one for DS because I just wanted to see if it worked. I downloaded not Animal Crossing. I did download Animal Crossing.
That's
for
why
the
Mike
GameCube.
has a new computer right now.
Yeah. Well, so I downloaded the 10 dogs because I just wanted to see if it worked. I got up to the point where they're like, "Call your dog," and like it's supposed to recognize your microphone. And like, yeah.
How long was he yelling at the thing?
Well, you couldn't figure it out, 'cause
Lucky,
obviously
come
people
here.
don't say it, like,
Yeah.
What was your dog's name?
My dog's name is Luna.
no.
No, your
Oh.
Nintendo dog name, you.
Dummy.
Sorry for not understanding that you're talking about my fake dog that I never got to name because it didn't work.
Your fake dog is probably sitting there hungry, but you can't get your game to work,
I
so you're
had
neglecting
I had
it.
the original 10 dogs, so like they're dead.
Mike, you seem like the type of person that when you were younger, you starved your Tamagotchi.
I didn't have a Tamagotchi, so I didn't have a chance to even starve it. So
All right.
anyway, so I got the N64 emulator, and I got Mario 64, obviously. So I started playing, and Lex was on my bed doing her homework, and she whispers, "What the fuck is this?" And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "What are you playing?" I was just like, "Are you serious right now? Like, this is you've never played Mario 64?" And she's like, "No, like, I've heard of it, but I've never seen it." I was like, "How do you go through almost 20 years of your life and not see
I had the shooting duck game. That's the only thing I remember.
The shooting
Duck
duck
game?"
Duck Hunt. It's
Well, just
Then the
this.
console mysteriously disappeared one day, and I never saw it again.
The shoot.
she's playing too much Duck Hunt.
Well, just
gonna shoot
the
real ducks
fact
soon.
that you've been so we've been dating for 4 years now. So that means like she's been somewhat.
So you went 4 years without getting
Yeah,
a culture.
sorry,
That's
Lex.
your issue.
Well, no. So like you've been 4 years with our group of friends, including Mark. Mark says Mario 64 is one of his favorite games.
It's considered probably like.
It still holds up. I mean, it
Also,
doesn't
shout
look
out to
great.
Game Grumps because they had like 200 episodes playing Mario 64, and there's like
200 episodes.
100 and something.
What are they
and,
doing? Are they trying to unlock Luigi?
I th-
They're trying
But-
to get to Yoshi on the top of the castle.
It's so funny watching this, and then just like, man, this is a classic. It brings me back, and then they just slowly realize that today it's just fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah,
Alright.
I've to this day I've never completely understood how to do Mario's different jumps and stuff because I know how to do the backflip, I know how to do the long jump, and I know he does like a side backflip and stuff, and like it just when I played it just happened.
It
Like
took me playing, like, shout out to Jeremy again, because I think it was when we were talking in high school, and I was just like, I never originally beat Mario 64. And he's like, what? He's like, yeah, no, I've never beaten Super Mario 64.
I've never beaten it either.
I never
And
played it.
and he kind of like, how did you not beat it? And it's like all this, and it got under my skin, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna play it again.
Okay, yeah. Wait, hold on. We'll stop. What are you saying?
I was gonna say something about it because you gave me that look,
Oh,
like you wanted to make a joke. I was like, say something.
okay. Yeah. So, anyway, moving on. So, the Oscars happened. We all watched it. Well, I watched it with some of it with
I watched some of it as well, but I
Friends.
followed the live feed as I was playing along.
I literally.
You watched it on the wrong day, so you know.
I watched
it at
it
the
on the
wrong
correct
parts.
day too.
I watched the beginning and it was like, man, this can't get any better, and it only got better when I turned it off or when I left the party.
I apologize. I just dropped my phone very
Way
loud
to
on this
go.
table.
System made a joke.
Do you have copies, or do you want me to look it up?
I have no. I mean, I'm looking at it now.
Okay, let me
Yeah,
look.
I'll read it to you guys.
People are gonna
Do
be
you
listening to this. They're gonna hear my parents just like yelling back and forth.
That's fine. They can. So,
Should I invite my mom down? Say a few words.
Mrs. Sisto.
Let her,
Carol.
get her
on.
to talk about her tattoo.
Can we,
tattoo.
can we
No,
not?
actually,
Can we
you
wanna
not? Can
interview
we
her
just
about
talk
it?
about the Oscars?
I saw the picture of like her process of meeting whatchamacallit. I was like, that's the best.
What's a
Whatchamacallit?
whatchamacallit?
I
Whatchamacallit?
So
You're
yeah,
talking
so,
about Sir
so
Paul
Mike's-
McCartney.
You know,
So Sisto's mom has met Paul McCartney, and he signed her back, and she got a tattoo of it. Is that correct?
That is very correct. Yes,
That is awesome.
I know, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
That's
There's like pictures up there. I'll show you after the show.
I think real quick before we start the Oscars, what's the most famous signature you own?
The most famous. All right, that's subjective. I would say Paul McCartney. To just people nowadays say John Mayer. John Mayer's pretty. I have his.
Mike?
I have a
Or
fake.
Marcucci.
I have a fake art. Oh, Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah, Tommy. I actually bought the DVD and Blu-ray, and it's like on one shelf, unironically like a shrine.
Yeah, I mean he was over my bed, or I mean he was on my bed. But
It was on your bed.
so, and I also have.
Hi, Mark.
So Lex got me a autograph. It's supposed to be the autograph of Corey Taylor, who's the lead singer of Slipknot, but I looked up his signature and it's not correct.
$45. I did my best.
You
Shout
bought it
out
off
to
a magazine
That's
though.
a great gesture.
I got it off of eBay.
That's even worse.
Like I said, mine's objective too, because I have Matt Ryan, who voices Edward Kenway. I literally have it as an autographed giant flag on my top of my bed. Probably Bruce Campbell. Shout out to Brendan
Ooh,
for
Bruce
getting.
Campbell.
He got it it for me
Nice.
as a Christmas gift. He got like
Nice.
4 books signed by him
He's
and
like,
gave
come
me
on,
a
kid.
copy.
How many more you got?
No, dude, he stood up and shook his hand, and I was just shout out to Brendan for getting me that because I love that book.
Shout out
That's pretty
Brendan,
awesome.
man. Yeah, that's a good gift.
I mean-
Brianna, what's the most famous signature you own?
Probably Josh Hutcherson.
Really? You have Daniel Radcliffe's signature, and you're gonna say, "Oh, I have Josh Hutcherson's signature."
Can we not?
Daniel Radcliffe's bleached asshole.
I forgot I had that.
I mean, I was made
Look,
fun
I
of.
forgot about Daniel Radcliffe too. It's okay.
I was.
Listen, when I got my famous signature, I couldn't speak or breathe.
Oh yeah. So,
I did the
so-
same thing to Jewel State. You guys don't know who she is probably because none of you have watched Firefly. She was Kaylee in Firefly, and when she finally like came in, and I was like the second person to meet her, I physically shut down. I was like, yeah.
That happened. So Lex met
Because she was
Rose,
just like-
the actress that played Rose from Doctor Who, and so she met her at the New York Comic Con, and so she went to go do her thing because I didn't pay for the pass. Like I didn't even know who she was. Doctor Who was just not a show that I got into.
Doctor Who.
Yeah. So I went and sat by the wall, and she comes over. Her face is beet red. It's just completely soaked in tears. And I'm like, what the hell happened? Like, are you okay? And she's just like,
So they have like a row of like pictures you could choose from, and then like as I got closer, I started like tearing up. And I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. And then like I went up to her, and I shut down. Like it was like I couldn't breathe. I like my tears were so bad I couldn't see her. I couldn't speak. She was like, "Oh, it's so handsome." I was like, yeah.
I had.
She's probably like, this fucking nerd over here will stop crying.
I just saw a blob of blue and a blonde ponytail. That's all. I didn't see her face at all.
I
took a video of her and she got mad.
I had a Firefly Loot crate come in once, and it came with a teddy bear, and I was just like, "Oh yeah, I'll have Jules State sign the Kaylee teddy bear." And I literally I couldn't talk. I just handed it to her,
And she took it?
and she was just like, "Do you want me to sign this?" And I'm just like, "Yeah." I couldn't talk.
I mean, so I
But
don't
like in line for Jules State, you know who else was there just like shaking hands and being a chill dude?
Tommy was dope.
No, the fucking Fonz, Henry Winkler.
Really?
Yo,
That's cool.
he's the man.
Dude, I was just like, holy shit. He's so chill. Like in real life, he was like a nice guy, shook all of our hands, talked to us.
That's really cool. I mean, the most famous person that I've interacted with, I was made fun of by Jimmy Kimmel. I was at
Really?
a showing and
I've heard that like 30 times already.
yeah, you heard that 30 times. So I was at a showing. I went to LA with my uncles, and he was doing a taping and like in between takes because they had a break for commercial. I mean, they were just, since they record earlier in the day, they do like the opening monologue, then they cut and like they rearrange so he can like sit down and stuff. But then, so he comes over to the crowd and like he's like, "Wow, this crowd sucks." Like he started to complain about how much the crowd wasn't up to his standards. He was joking, obviously, and he goes, "Well, this like look at this crowd, like, and like when I sit in a neutral pose, I like sit back with my arms folded."
T-pose?
Yeah, T-pose. I T-pose, and he's like, "What the fuck? Get this kid out." But no, I was so when I sit, I usually sit with my arms folded, and so he goes, "Huh?
And resting bitch face.
Whatever."
You do have a great resting bitch face.
What? Yeah, I mean,
You do look miserable in a natural
you gotta
setting.
have a miserable face when you're working in television. So he's like, "Look at this kid in the blue. He's just sitting there with his arms folded." And I was like, "Me?" He was like, "Yeah, you." And he's like, so he was like, "What's your name?" I was like, "Oh, my name is Mike." And he's like, "So what do you do, Mike?" I was like, "I go to school." And he's like, "Where do you go to school?" "I go to Drexel." "What do you do?" I studying television." He was like, "Oh, that's really cool because, you know, that's what I do." I was just like, "Oh, yeah."
Really? That's what he
And
did?
he's
No
like,
fucking shit, Jimmy Kimmel.
well, he was like, so what do you want to do in television? I was like, "I want to go into the news field." I was like, "I want to be a news cameraman." He goes, "Oh, okay. Well, you know what happens to the news cameramen, right?" I was like, "What?" And he's like, "All the reporters fuck them in their vans." And I was
No, he
sitting there
didn't.
with, yeah, he was like, I was sitting there with my uncles, and they all just kind of like looked around. I was like, "Okay." And then he just walked away. And then, well, what was cool is that the camera guy that was in front of us, he like turned around and gave me a thumbs up, and I was like, "Cool."
What, like a
definitely
thumbs
got
up, like,
fucked in the
yeah,
van.
it's true.
He's like, yeah, you definitely get screwed in the van.
You better bring lube. You better bring lube. They don't provide.
He just looks at you and goes, "Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel's all right."
Well, so I mean, my uncle has an earring, and like it like dangles, and
He has a dangling earring.
yeah, and
Just
and like
dangles.
his like MC, like the guy that like comes up and warms up the crowd, he's like, "Your uncle has a funny earring." I was just like, "Okay." He was like, and then Jimmy Kimmel was like, "All right, have a good day, Mike, and your uncle has a funny earring." So that's my interaction with Jimmy Kimmel. I then went to a taping of Two Broke Girls. So like a typical show is about 20 minutes long with advertisements. It took them 6 hours.
Yeah, that's how. That's
Oh
how it
yeah,
is.
I believe it. I know. Like
They
I've-
probably did. How many takes did they do for one scene? Probably like.
I don't
8.
remember offhand, but like because I've been on Drexel's TV show where it's a sitcom, and like we would dedicate like 8-hour days for like one scene that's like 3
Yeah.
minutes long. It's intense. Like it's
Yeah.
oh yeah, being a cameraman's fun. Yeah. So we were talking about the Oscars, and then we went on to talking about
We're
famous
just we're
people.
just winging it. Not really winging it, but we're a little more lax.
we're having
today.
fun. We're having a good time.
this
Black
break.
Panther took a lot of home awards for the Oscars. I thought that was
It did.
great.
Well, yeah. So
It
I mean,
did.
I'm going to run down the big ones. Like, so do you want me to go from bottom up or top down? What do you
How
guys
about middle
think?
out?
I think side.
How
to
about
side
middle
works.
out for
Side to
any
side?
Silicon Valley fans? Middle
Side-
out.
I like side to side.
Okay,
Middle
so
out compression.
we'll
Right
start
to
at best adapted screenplay. So Black Klansman brought that one home.
Good for
Spike
them.
Lee's first Oscar, which
And
he
let
deserved.
everyone hear about it.
Yeah, but the truth is, though, if I was snubbed for so long and then came in, I'd be like, fuck you, fuck you.
Yeah.
I
That's
just feel
exactly
like
how it would go in.
I just feel like it annoyed me because I expected it 100%.
Maybe that's
Because
why.
it's just the type of person Spike Lee is. He's always got something to say.
Yeah, but
he
he
always
deserved-
has something to
I
say.
honestly think at this point it was kind of like, no, he should have said it.
But like, be a professional. Like, yeah,
I
we
think
know,
he was
but like,
fine. I don't know.
we all know your reputation. We all know your reputation of you say a lot. You know, you get mad at a lot of things. You always have an opinion. But like, this is one thing that could be an everlasting moment when you actually win. You know, try and like ditch that persona and actually remember it and enjoy the moment instead of immediately saying, "Oh man, you know, I didn't win all this time, and that time I finally won." Like,
So, I just want to say it. My biggest letdown for the Oscars was
Don't say Buster
Shallow.
Scruggs
No, Shallow winning Best Original Song.
because you wanted Buster Scruggs.
Yes, I wanted the Ballad of Buster Scruggs to win because it was a great song.
the song was good, but the movie was terrible.
All
so no
right.
one's gonna remember it, but you.
When a cowboy traces spurs.
Okay, so best original screenplay was Green Book. I didn't see that either. I mean, I saw Black Klansman. I thought it was really good.
I saw
we need
snippets
to
from
watch
Green Book,
Green
so I
Book.
wanted to learn what it was about.
We need to watch Green Book.
Yeah, it
We
was
Yeah.
really
really good.
do, because that movie looks like the movie. And I was actually hearing this from a person at work. I think they were saying, "Yeah, it was almost like driving Miss Daisy," and I'm like,
Yeah. I mean, I can
"Oh, wait, no,
understand.
it was actually at my girlfriend's family's house." They were like, "It was like driving Miss Daisy." I was like, "Yeah, kind of could be a little bit."
Just
I
Rose
was right on Roma
Yeah.
winning a decent chunk of awards.
Oh,
I
yeah,
did say
they
that in the
brought
last
a lot
podcast.
of-
It's like Roma's like one of those unheard of foreign language films and foreign films.
Netflix
that
original too,
Well,
which
have
is
taken
rare.
more awards home.
Quran is a
Well,
great,
so
great
also,
director.
Yeah, it is, but normally there's always that one that wins and nobody heard of. It was Roma.
well,
Like every movie,
Yeah.
usually that wins.
so Roma won best foreign language film,
And best
which
director.
basically best director too. Mm-hmm. Well, so when like if they won the best foreign language film, that kind of confirmed that they weren't going to get best picture. Like that's just the way it is. So yeah, well, first let's give a congratulatory round of applause for best anime feature going to Spider-Verse. Also, yeah, Spider-Verse, and then
Guess who called it?
I mean it
Everybody was rooting for it though.
yeah, it's
Everybody was
not
rooting for it,
surprising. It's I wasn't surprised, and then
So I learned a little tidbit that somebody in the audience noticed. There was somebody when Spider-Verse won and they were giving the speech. Someone was just shouting like, "Yeah, yeah, woo!" It was Terry Crews.
Terry Crews is so pure.
Was he even in the movie?
No, and that's what makes it beautiful.
Terry Crews is such a
think
pure
about
man.
It,
Dude, Terry
Mahershala
Crews-
Ali won. His movies won a good amount of awards because he was in Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
he was
Terry
in Green
Crews
Book.
is too good for Hollywood. I just want to state that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and then Black Panther bringing home the best production design, so the best Oscar. Bless you.
Bless you.
The best production is design, so so an Oscar, the first Oscar for Marvel, which is needed. This was
Very, 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 very overdue.
yeah, comic book movies get snubbed it's just a thing that happens.
It's the subject matter people don't take seriously.
Yeah, and
Subject matter, rather.
well, it's like the same with horror. Like some horror movies can be beautifully done, but they just get snubbed because horror is just it's
Because it's harder to watch when you think about it.
I don't know, because like there's some pretty tough drama movies to watch, and like a horror movie is just like me and Sisto. I mean, we watched a movie called Hereditary, which is one of my favorite horror movies of recent years. And that
terrified my girlfriend that night.
Yeah,
She was
It's good.
very, very not in a good state.
it's good. I'm sorry about that, but it was good. But that movie was beautifully shot. It's really well done. It gives you that sense of terror. I can go on and on about horror
You know
movies.
what wasn't well done? The Razzie nominations that we should
I
talk
thought you were going to talk about
We're gonna get
Buster
there
Scruggs.
first. So I'll just do a quick run
kill
through.
you. You don't yee on my hall, Sisto.
Well,
So-
you don't haul my yee, boy.
Best supporting actress was Regina King. If Beale Street Could Talk, I don't think a lot of people saw that because I didn't see. I didn't even hear about it until it
I want to
happened.
say it was a very boutique like movie. It was very artsy.
Yeah, I mean that's
movie
what.
with a lot more in the
I like that
message
rule. I like that.
than it was on the screenplay. Let's put it that way.
I like that.
What
Boutique.
Boutique.
movie?
I like
So
that. I just like the
best supporting actor, Mahershala Ali for Green Book.
John C. Reilly for.
Let's honestly take the time to say that Mahershala Ali had the most iconic outfit of this year's Oscars. That hat he was wearing, I looked online forever to see that hat. I did
don't
not know where
remember
he
it.
got it. I was like, I've never seen anything
I get
like
the.
that before.
I'm trying to see if I get the joke. He's the one that wore the dress, right?
No, that's yeah. Correct. Say in the comments down below who wore that dress, but I forget.
Yeah, there was someone that showed up in the dress. So best actress Olivia Colman for The Favorite.
Good for her.
Best actor Rami Malek for
My boy,
Bohemian
wanted it.
Rhapsody.
He
Deserved it.
went up against Titans for that win.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
so happy he won. He deserves it, 100%.
Well, we all knew. So William Dafoe.
Was the name I was thinking earlier.
William Dafoe. I mean, he was up for it. I can't take William Dafoe seriously. I mean,
You know,
Whoa.
You know, he's something of an actor himself.
Excuse me?
you don't
can't take Willem Dafoe
understand. You don't
seriously.
understand what I had to go through in one of my editing projects. I had to see
Wait,
that
wait.
man's
But
penis.
out of all of the amazing movies,
It's a
Willem
joke.
Dafoe has been
It's
in,
a joke, but like
and that movie was a good movie too.
it's just
You gotta watch his edit. No, post it in.
I don't
the
want to
page.
post it because
Did you
it has
watch his
nudity in
iconic
it.
roles video?
His what?
His iconic roles video.
No.
It's pretty good. I suggest you watch it. But
I'm glad he got nominated for the
Antichrist. Is that
No,
what
no,
it is?
no. He got nominated for the Van Gogh movie. He did.
Dude.
I gotta watch it.
Biopics don't get enough credit.
Yeah.
Yo, the Bohemian Rhapsody.
You mean biopics?
Shut up.
Dwight, you ignorant slut.
All right.
Oh God. So yeah. So best director was Alfonso
Ribeiro?
Cruton
Poirot.
Did you just say Alfonso Cruton?
for Roma. I didn't want to pronounce it. I knew I was
No,
going to
no.
pronounce
So
it.
Alfonso Cuarón could go come in here and kick your ass.
Well, I knew I was going to pronounce it incorrectly, so I just went for the worst incorrect way to say it. So
Alfonso Ribeiro for Roma.
It's not unusual.
and
Oh,
best
damn.
picture for Green Book. So that was kind of surprised.
Which is very debated. A lot of people were shocked.
I wasn't expecting it. I was rooting
But the
for.
thing is, though, that was.
I think everyone knows I was rooting for A Star Is Born.
Did the power just go
Our
out?
power just went out. We're going through
Oh
a
my
really
God.
bad snowstorm. Our power just went out. Oh,
Hello?
and then God said, "Let there
Mike.
be light."
Mike,
Is someone using
what kind of
microwave?
fucking horror movie are you shooting in my basement right now?
It's because I messed up Alfonso Cruton's name. He found us.
It's like Smitty
Sister,
Werben
why is your
Jaegerman
hand on
Jensen.
there?
Somebody definitely downed the telephone pole or something.
I mean, it's probably so it's sleeting outside right now. So it's pretty bad.
We're just not having good luck on this podcast. I think Sisto caught the feel
Mahershala
right
Ali
now.
is still like, staring at me right now.
Well, we can continue because our laptops have batteries, but
Good amount. Yeah.
Batter what?
batteries.
All right, so can we go to... Let's go to the Razzies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's that time.
Do you want me to read them out?
Yeah, if you wanna go for it. I have here.
All right. So, Holmes and Watson. So, worst
Holmes and
picture
Watson.
winner.
Before we go any further, what the this is to John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell.
Will Friday.
Will Ferrell.
Will Faraday.
God damn it. It's hard with a 5-second delay to pronounce stuff right. Okay. Why the fuck did you make this movie?
Well, you know what? It's not.
Why?
It's not John C. Reilly's fault.
No, but Will
It's
Ferrell.
Will Ferrell's fault for not.
Why? We all wanted them to get together. We all wanted to see them in another
No,
movie.
they didn't. No one wanted it.
Exactly.
Except
That's the
Will
sarcasm.
Ferrell.
That's the sarcasm. Why did you make this movie? No one wants to see you in a movie. Do you want to know why? Because every movie anybody makes from this era of comedy, this late 90s, mid 90s to early 2000s SNL, they're all junk. Every movie they make is shit nowadays. Look at Adam Sandler, David Spade, Chris Rock is a little bit of an exception, Chris Rock. But
They're all in the same movies.
exactly. And they all fucking suck.
Because it's a lot with those type of like a lot of former SNL people that are just like they've aged and they've been out of SNL for years. They definitely have lost touch with what they
And I'll
want
say
to
this
do.
again. It's going back to episode 1. John C. Reilly, please stay away from Will Ferrell. You have amazing potential the next couple years to make amazing movies. Stan and Ollie's coming.
Stan and Ollie is going to be a great movie.
I'm rooting for it because John C. Reilly has this range that if he stays away from Will Ferrell, he will be amazing.
He has the immense
And
capability.
he has stayed away from
He
Will
has
Ferrell
a
making
great
movies.
capability to play those dramatic roles. I genuinely believe that. And if he sticks to that, he'll be fine. Because in Guardians of the Galaxy, he did well in his role as well. And that was a little bit more of a less comedic role because there was a serious overtone to it.
Yeah.
But like, Step Brothers is always going to be his most famous picture for the wrong reasons. It's because he couldn't find anything better. If Step Brother always is going to be his greatest picture.
Yeah.
Like,
He should be proud about what Step Brothers accomplished. Talladega Nights was good. It's always going to be. It wasn't a revolutionary film, but it's
It was
quotable.
it was a good
Comedy.
comedy.
Yeah, was John C. Reilly in Anchorman? I don't think he
No.
was.
no.
He might have been in like some sort of bit part just because he's John C. Reilly.
Okay.
Just like Rob Schneider.
Well,
in
so
every
I just want to make
single Sandler movie.
one more thing about how like former SNL people are just doing it for the money because we all know Adam Sandler's doing his thing now. Adam Sandler does Adam Sandler movies. I mean, he's the only person to win the worst actor and actress at the Razzies for Jack and Jill.
I will say this though: when Adam Sandler sung in a stand-up about Chris Farley,
That was
Chris-
that was sad.
God, I teared up. But he was right.
was
if
good.
Chris Farley was alive, he'd be in Grown Ups 3.
Yeah, Kevin James replaced him. Kevin James is a replacement. Chris Farley is what he is.
Okay.
All right,
let me
anyway.
go back to the Razzies,
Well, I
if
just
you
want to
don't
say
mind.
one more
Let's go
thing.
back to Razzies because
So-
I could easily get
Wait,
heated
wait.
about
I
this
just want
whole
to say
thing.
one more thing. And so Will Ferrell is now doing the same thing that Adam Sandler's doing. It's just pumping out movies for the sake of it. So now Will Ferrell has a podcast as Ron Burgundy.
That's a stretch.
Another thing.
Yeah. So
Stop with the Anchorman shit. It was good, the first 2 movies, and now they're making all these
he's
stupid
doing
shit,
a
and they're overdoing
podcast.
it.
He's now doing a podcast series as Ron Burgundy, but like that's
No one wants
Ron.
this movie.
Yeah, Ron
Exactly.
Burgundy wasn't a character. I mean, I'm not sure. Will Ferrell probably had something to do with creating Ron Burgundy as a character, but like he was a written character. He wasn't. Will Ferrell didn't come up on stage and
Come up with it.
Yeah, this isn't a character. Like it's not like. I mean, even with Stephen Colbert acting as Stephen Colbert from the Colbert Report, that was still a written character,
Exactly.
but it
Same
was
thing with Jon Stewart.
yeah. I mean, it was a character, but like it was part of Stephen Colbert.
Exactly.
Ron Burgundy was more of a character gifted to Will Ferrell because he was that was the role he was given, and now
Exactly.
he's playing it to death.
We're talking about the Will Ferrell that did a comedy special in character
Oh,
as
don't.
George W. Bush.
That was
And
great.
and everyone,
That was great.
it was great. Yeah,
I
well, it was the
loved
last good thing Will Ferrell fucking did.
All right,
in
fair
that
enough.
case.
Fair enough.
Because
I loved it, though.
he's overdone all of his characters at this point. It's oversaturated, and he needs to stop because it's just gonna get more and more.
And then Daddy's Home 2, when Daddy's Home 1 didn't do well.
The Other Guys was a good movie.
The other guys. Okay, The Other Guys was probably his last one that I was just like, I
No
genuinely
Fitness
enjoyed
and
this.
Paper
Alright.
Bitch and Yankee Clipper.
Okay, so we'll continue.
I'm like thrusting. I want to talk about the goddamn Razzie.
Okay,
All right. Holmes and Watson won.
for the worst picture.
Well deserved.
It lost.
Congratulations.
Yeah, for the worst picture.
Jesus
Right?
Christ. Worst director. Cohen for Holmes and Watson again. Worst actress. Melissa McCarthy.
Really?
Yeah. So she's... I actually wanted her to be one of the first that won an Oscar and a Razzie in the same year. Because she actually could have this year.
Do you guys know of any? So a lot of times when they present the Razzies, they live stream it of sorts, and sometimes they'll have people like they'll have the actors or the actresses like actually show up to claim the awards.
Yeah.
Obviously, Melissa McCarthy couldn't be there because she was at the Oscars.
She was dressed as that Victorian era, Queen Victoria,
You know what I
with the
found
fucking
out?
bunnies.
Her and her husband actually dressed down in the tracksuits for the after party, and I thought that was adorable.
I
thought it was.
Those two as a couple, they're great.
Yeah.
They match each other. They're funny. Like that air marshal scene.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
definitely.
Oh my
In
god,
Razzies.
gold.
Okay.
That was gold.
So, worst actor. I get it, Trump. Like, he won for Death of a Nation, but I'm just like, no. Like, give it to...
That shouldn't have been on. there.
You know who would have been my winner? Johnny Depp.
Yeah, Johnny Depp.
Not-
Depp's a
not
person.
Will Ferrell. For
Not Will
Holmes and
Ferrell.
Watson?
Because Will Ferrell's expected.
Or John Travolta for Gotti because five people watched that fucking movie.
Because here's my defense. Will Ferrell's expected.
God, he did fucking
John
awful.
Travolta is a slow moving train wreck. Johnny Depp's hit rock bottom.
I feel bad for John Travolta.
Yeah.
All that stuff with his son that happened a few years ago.
Yeah, that's why I don't think he deserved it, because everything he was going through. Johnny Depp's
I would
Yeah.
say Johnny Depp's rock bottom.
Well,
He's
I
got
would
it.
think
I would say.
so.
Yeah.
I would think Johnny Depp deserves it more because I know at least with John Travolta, he did kind of put his heart and soul into Gotti. It didn't do well. It is what it
Johnny
is.
Depp couldn't put heart and soul into Sherlock Gnomes.
Yeah, and that's like the same with Holmes and Watson. Like you can tell when something's like, I understand like, acting is still a job. You still have to pay the bills, but like, you gotta have some sort of like dignity with like your art. Like you gotta be able to turn down a role. Like Johnny Depp, what 10 years ago, when he was doing like Sweeney Todd,
Pirates.
Pirates was at its peak. I mean, he did that.
Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland. He did
Charlie
that.
and
put
the
it
Chocolate
this way.
Factory.
Johnny Depp's career is a far shot from Platoon.
Yeah,
Pretty
Yeah.
bad.
It's a far shot from the good movies he used to be in.
his
And,
first role. His fun fact: his first role was in Nightmare on Elm Street.
I thought it was in Platoon.
Well, one of his first roles was in Nightmare on Elm Street. He was the bad boy that gets strangled to death by Freddy, which was it's a really weird scene because the main character Nancy is like she's in a dream. She's trying to figure out how to like she's trying to stay awake and like then she falls asleep and is like wandering around the neighborhood, and she goes to the jail and like so the Johnny Depp's
Oh, okay.
Johnny Depp's character is accused of murder because his girlfriend is murdered by Freddy when they're in the room. Like she falls asleep, she dies, and like when you have like if you
Yeah.
get stabbed in the dream, like it happens in real life.
Exactly.
So like she gets clawed open and like so there's like blood everywhere and like she's thrown all around the ceiling and stuff.
Jesus
it's a really
Christ.
it's a
Yeah.
really interesting scene because the girl is like on the ceiling.
I mean, others people would call it, gory. But yeah,
the way they
interesting
did
is
it-
a great
well, no,
word for
the way they did it is
flailed
really
murder.
Traumatizing, disturbing,
Scarring.
Okay, so,
scarring.
In the
okay.
mind of Mike Marcucci,
being the only
it's interesting.
the only
Interesting.
horror movie fan here. I'll say that it was an interesting scene because so what they did was to
This
the
is the
room.
Comparing it to a
This is-
dog taking a shit on a sidewalk, like, oh, that's interesting.
Well, no,
This is,
the
this
first
is the
night,
Art
the
Carly
first,
dream all over again.
I will. I hated the rest of the Nightmare series. The first Nightmare was good, but anyway. So so the scene is that the girl gets thrown up on the ceiling. She like gets drugged around and like and stuff and like
Rope-a-doped, yeah.
yeah and like. But the way they did it was that they built a stage or they built a room that rotated. So the ceiling was on top and then like it would rotate around and like she would like move across the walls and stuff. It was interesting. But anyway, so Johnny Depp's character is accused of that and then he gets there's a weird scene where like he gets Freddy's in a dream and not in a dream. He grabs the bed sheets, ties it into the knot, puts it around his neck, and makes it look like he committed suicide. It's a weird. It's not the best scene in the movie. But it's really weird.
I also
'cause-
want to mention... Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm done talking. But
No,
like,
I just want to mention, we're supporting actress. Look, I get it. You can have Melania Trump, Kellyanne Conway, and Trump on here just because you can. It doesn't make it for a good like worst awards show. I feel like they did it just because they could.
Like, not to get too political
Melissa-
here.
no, I
It's
mean,
very unfair. the
politics
way they-
aside-
Exactly.
Here's my nomination: Melissa Gay Hayden should have won. For
What was she
50
in?
Shades Freed that came out, that everybody forgot that there was a third movie. I
Because
didn't even
no
know
one
there
cares
was a
about it
second.
anymore.
what?
And it came out this year.
Wait, what was it?
50 Shades Freed. I'm sorry, I was
Oh, yeah,
directly
yeah,
looking.
there
I'm
was.
sorry.
Why are
Yeah.
we looking at my girlfriend? when
I
we're
don't
talking
know
about 50
why.
Shades?
It was just I'm facing that.
Are we gonna
way.
fucking fight right now?
Well, when the first,
Can you not?
Well, when the first 50
Please.
50 Shades movie came out, Lex was like, I want to watch it. And we were like sitting in my living room, and I lived with my nephew who was like 4 at the time.
Wait.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What the fuck are you doing watching 50 Shades
Oh,
with
no.
your
No, we
nephew?
never.
No, I wasn't watching it with my nephew. He didn't let me finish this fucking story.
Wait, why were you watching it at all?
I wasn't watching.
Please.
This
So-
is the iCarly thing all over.
So she
again.
asked to watch it while we were sitting in the living room. She was like, I wanted to see this movie. And I was like, no.
Me and Brianna and our other
Oh, son of a bitch.
Take a shot every time sister snorts.
Me and Brianna
damn
and
it.
our other friend
It's
at our
fine,
lunch
dude.
table
Don't
made
worry
a
about
pact that we were gonna watch it one day, but we never got to it. That was like 4 years ago.
movie theater too.
Yeah, she owns a fucking movie
All
theater
right.
in her basement.
Against 50 Shades Freed, we're sum up. Mike didn't watch it with a 4-year-old. Let's move on.
I did watch Child's Play with him when he was 2.
God, that poor kid.
That's how.
No,
that's why
wasn't your
he
little
is
brother,
so good.
your little nephew, the one that ran around screaming poop?
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
Okay, worst supporting actor
He's funny.
was John C. Reilly for Holmes and Watson, which is a shame.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Jamie Foxx was nominated for this, and
For what?
Robin Hood. So here's another thing that I mentioned. Like, you know that John C. Reilly has the ability to make good movies. So does Egerton, the guy that plays Eggsy in
Yeah, he...
in The Kingsman.
That,
He's apparently, I read another article that Elton John hosts his Oscar viewing party on his own.
Elton John?
Elton John. Eggsy's gonna play Elton John in a movie. I think this year or next
Rocket
year.
Man.
It's coming out this month, I think.
And they performed together at his party, and apparently
That's
it was
cool.
amazing. He has an ability to be an amazing, like he's an next pick. It's like going to be Rami Malek. I think he's the next up and coming person.
You think? Are we gonna see Elton John's performance at Live Aid in Rocket Man?
In the movie,
Maybe.
apparently, he sings all the parts. Like, it's not like voiced over or anything.
Really?
That's the most impressive part of these movies.
Well, he was
That's what
he
we
was
need
the
to see.
gorilla in Sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has a
He can
voice.
sing, yeah.
Jared Edgerton, is that who we're talking about?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, it's
I thought it was
Sing was a
Jason
good movie,
Egerton.
by the way.
Jared, Jason.
No, I didn't know.
I know we confirmed earlier that I don't have the best of feelings for Seth MacFarlane, but he sang My Way.
Mike, it's okay to be wrong.
Well, he sang My Way by Frank Sinatra in the movie, and it was really good.
I
Like
you're crumbling the paper. I'm
Seth
sorry.
MacFarlane has an album out. He did like Frank Sinatra type music.
Yeah, no.
It's really good. Well, he was a mouse in the movie, and he was basically his character was Frank Sinatra, like the Italian kind of gangster type.
He was like 3 inches tall.
Well, yeah, that was the irony of it all. But like, and he sang "My Way" while like helicopters were looking for a criminal because like the end of the movie and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I also thought it was funny that the worst any combination of actors or puppets for worst duo didn't win. Or Holmes and Watson didn't win either. It was Donald J. Trump and his self-perpetuating penance. That one I'll allow.
Yeah,
That one I'll allow. Worst screenplay, 50 Shades Freed actually won. Again, nobody knew they made 3 movies of those.
Yeah, I mean, so the book was big. The first book was big. I mean, it's never been praised for being a good book. It's just been praised because, like, it was porn that was accepted.
Yeah.
And it's, like, you know, it's not just, like, vanilla porn either. It was, like, it's, like, chocolate swirl porn
Mike.
with, like, sprinkles.
Why is it chocolate swirl?
Because it has a lot to do with BDSM.
Like,
How does that represent chocolate?
Whatever.
All right, moving on.
Vanilla is a phrase. It's,
Well, yeah, but oh my god.
You know what I mean.
All right, moving on, please.
So are we moving on from the Razzies
Yes.
now?
Yeah.
So, what do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about Chris Hemsworth playing Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, we'll go into that a little bit. So yeah, Chris Hemsworth is going to be playing Terry Bollea, which is better known to all you wrestling
Wait, his
fans.
name is Terry Bollea?
Yes.
I thought it was
You
Hogan.
can
No. You,
thought it was
no.
His
That's a
name's
stage
not
name.
Hulk.
It's just his
I
stage
didn't know
name.
that was a stage name.
No, his real name's Terry Bollea. Yeah. Yeah. So
Of course, his name was Terry.
The Hulkster is an interesting guy.
he is, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they're actually going to portray him, because with Hulk Hogan's definitely in talking about this, and there's a lot of stuff over the years that Hulk Hogan has been pretty like cover up about. Like he's been very vehement against all the accusations against him.
Yeah, I don't want
a
to
lot of
go
the time.
into that.
Yeah, so that's why
With all
I'm
of that.
really
Do you think they're going to
hoping
have Macho Man in there?
They better have.
I want
fucking Macho Man
I
in
want
there.
Thor Bjornsson to play Andre the Giant.
Jesus
They
Christ.
better
They can
detail
do it,
just
yeah,
how
right.
good of friends they were outside of it all.
Get Tommy Wiseau to play Macho Man. I bet he could do
No,
it.
No.
I read an article this week.
It's
I
gonna
shared
be
it
Jared
in the chat.
Leto. It's gonna be Jared Leto.
Tommy Wiseau wants to be into the WWE
Yeah.
as
Could
an
you
announcer
imagine?
for
Could you imagine?
Ronda Rousey.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so
I've never been big into the WWE, but if Tommy Wiseau goes into it, I'm fully in for this.
so Chris Hemsworth set to portray Hulk Hogan. It's a biopic. It's gonna be done by Todd Phillips and Scott Silver. They're doing the Joker movie that are coming out. If you might know that.
Yeah.
And
That's a
John
movie.
Polano is writing the script. He's from that movie Stronger. He did the movie Stronger. And then, so it looks like it's going to be done with Netflix. That's what all the news is saying.
So
And then-
Netflix original?
just about, yeah.
Oh, that'd be
That's
pretty cool.
yeah.
They're doing the
And
same
Michael
thing from
Sugar is going to be doing it. He did Spotlight. And then Bradley Cooper. They're going to produce it.
Bradley Cooper's producing
Joint
it.
effort is going to
Wow.
do it. Yeah.
That'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, I like how Bradley
And then
Cooper is getting
also
into more
getting
behind the
a
scenes.
executive producer tag. And I think you might like this. Eric Bischoff is going to
Eric
get
Bischoff.
is going to get a producer.
Why does that sound familiar? You got to
You
refresh
don't know
my
who Eric
memory.
Bischoff is?
Refresh my memory.
The guy. And did you watch WCW growing up or WWE? Because you're a little bit older than me.
WWE.
WWE. The general manager of Raw back in the mid.
Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ. No, that's actually pretty cool.
So that's why I could explain it to you. But he
Okay.
was the weasel behind NWO was one of his gimmicks, and he was
okay.
he was like behind the scenes, like the big shot caller.
They're getting a lot of biopics for Netflix. Because
because
You
it's
just
doing
said
well.
biopics again.
Biopic. Is it biopic or biopic?
It's biopic.
I don't think it matters.
I've
mean,
been pronouncing
yeah.
it biopic this whole time. All right.
It's okay to be wrong.
Motley Crue.
A lot of people have been throwing a lot of bad words towards that.
Well, it's Motley Crue.
Yeah.
The band?
Yeah.
They're making a movie about it. With the evil guy from Game of Thrones. And that's
There's
very
a lot
general.
of evil guys from Game of Thrones.
Ramsey Bolton.
Yeah, I don't know the actor's name.
I don't know
but,
the actor's name either. He failed in the Inhumans spinoff that did not even make it past the premiere episode.
Really?
Yeah.
I know that was on broadcast television.
Because the Inhumans can't exist on their own.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it just failed spectacularly. They didn't make it past that premiere they show to people if it will pass or fail.
So I actually want to ask a question here, and I think this would be a pretty interesting thing
Yes.
to talk about. What biopic would you like to see? Like if there's one biopic you think that could be made, what would you want to see?
It's a tie between Motley Crue and the Ellen John movie.
So
The ones that are coming
already
out,
made.
not the ones that are already have been out.
What I'm trying.
Oh,
to
you're trying to
is
say what
ones
you
that
want something
haven't
made.
been made.
AC/DC.
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 I would say probably Bob Marley.
Bob
I think deserves one. I think this is the perfect time to do it too. I don't think Kurt Cobain ever got one, which is needed. But because God, who's the one that just passed away? He was Chris Cornell. He's getting a movie that's Brad Pitt's producing actually. That's it's in very early production. They're talking about doing. So that's I think is needed. I think. God, there was one else that I was thinking too. Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne needs his own biopic.
No, he does not.
He does.
No, he
Come on,
does
man.
not. He's had a reality show that just shows him as
I
a
need to
confused
see
young
another
man.
Actor trying to be Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy
fuck is
Osbourne
that?
had
Who the fuck
such
was
he's like Motley. I mean, he was like Motley Crue crazy. Like Ozzy Osbourne has so many stories. Like his show with his son Jack, where they like toured the
Yeah.
world and did different.
It's so funny.
Like yeah, I mean Ozzy's a funny guy because he's the confused grandpa of metal. Like he just doesn't know what the hell's going on most of the time.
I saw him at the what's the theater in Camden?
The
BBT.
BB&T.
I
We
saw him
all
at the
saw him, yeah.
PBT.
But he
don't wanna
clinks to
say
the
this.
microphone like he's
Ozzy Osbourne,
hanging
I
off
love
for
you
dear
to
life.
death.
He walks exactly how you think.
He walks
No, he runs like he shit his pants.
he walks like Uncle Fester.
Uncle Fester.
But but Ozzy has so many stories. Mostly because he's
Most of them
he's
involve
done
drugs
all
and
the
eating
drugs
bats.
in the
Yeah.
book. Well, that in the bat story, that's another big story that everyone knows about, and he deserves a movie. The guy was kicked out of Texas because he pissed on the Alamo.
Oh yeah,
he needs a story.
that's why I want AC/DC. But it's what Motley Crue's doing too, because AC/DC was a wild fucking bunch of people.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
they got blacklisted out of most countries in Europe.
Another thing is it's gonna be really hard to do it because you're gonna have to get attached to Bon Scott to really understand the story, and then he's gonna have to
Yeah, but then you'll have Brian Johnson.
Yeah, but that's gonna be a lot to put in one movie. When you think about it,
I mean, they had an
There's gonna be a
AC/DC
lot.
movie.
If you're gonna make a
Way back.
constructively good movie about ACDC, that you want to
They had
contend
an
for
AC/DC
pictures.
movie way back.
Well, exactly, but if you wanted to contend for awards, you're going to have to format it to where people are going to critically like it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard if you're going to have all that rising and falling emotional action.
I would want Kiss too, but I hate
I
Gene
think this
Simmons.
is so
I hate Gene
overdone.
Simmons too
Why
much
are you only mentioning men?
because there's only men on this
Well,
podcast.
okay,
All
I'll
right,
say-
what are your
I'll
two
say
cents,
this.
Flax? Get in here.
I'll
Well,
say
don't
this.
point us-
No,
don't pin us
I
as
think
sexist here.
Janis Joplin deserves a movie.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
she does.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I mean, she was taken way
Why you
too
guys crap
early.
on Janis Joplin? He brought it up. She does deserve a movie.
She was taken
Absolutely.
way too early, way too tragically.
She was that Curse of 27.
I think
Was
Karen
she-
Carpenter.
She died from heroin. I
Karen
think.
But
Carpenter
what age?
deserves
There's a
one.
group of people that died at a very specific age.
Another one, Jimi Hendrix. I don't think ever got a movie.
No, Hendrix deserves one too.
Karen Carpenter from the Carpenters. Very sad story.
Yeah.
Eating disorders. I think Eric Clapton definitely deserves one.
Yeah, and I mean,
That's the one
this
I'd
is
wanna
kind of a
see.
bias towards me, but at least maybe 20 years from now when they're not doing anymore.
I swear to God, if you're gonna say Ghost,
No, I'm gonna say Slipknot
Yes,
because
absolutely.
yeah.
I'm not a Slipknot fan, but I'm a little familiar with their
There's-
story. There is so much shit that went down.
Corey
within
Taylor
that band.
had a rough fucking life.
Absolutely.
I mean, he tried right before he joined the band. He tried committing suicide, and like he had a rough life. And like on top of the fact that like most up until their like second or third album, so the third album they did, that's when everyone was trying to get sober. Like they were on hard shit. They were really bad.
that's why I think Motley Crue is gonna be
Except
interesting
me.
to watch.
Huh?
Except Mick Thompson.
Yeah,
Mick Thompson was always the good one.
And I mean, one of their
about
bassist died, Paul Gray. He died, and like so, it's a tragic story, and they broke a lot of milestones with what they were able to accomplish. I mean, they're aging now. Most of them are in their 40s. I think their youngest might be their drummer, but like they just, I mean, and so they've lost two members. One, the original drummer Joey. He didn't die, but he was losing control in his legs, so he couldn't drum anymore. And then Paul died, and like they had, like you should see interviews with them all together, because like there's an interview where like they're just like it's right when they started like their first album. They're and, like the person's just like, you just can tell like they just like put someone out there just to talk to him, and they're just all sitting around, and the guy clown, his name is Sean. He just gets up and starts beating his fucking chair. He starts breaking it, and they all just start getting distracted, and they're like, yeah, dude, put your foot through it. And he just puts his foot through it while this person's trying to like talk to him, and then he goes over to the cupboard, throws everything out of it, breaks the cupboard down, and it's like they're just it's a crazy group of guys. Like
Yeah.
Slipknot shit on a lot because like they're that band. Like
They are that band. Yeah.
I mean, they're not. Their fan base is not like ICP bad, but like
A lot of
they're
people
in that kind of
give
group.
Slipknot crap because of the people that listen to Slipknot.
Well, yeah, because they
enough.
have the same type of fan base as like Insane Clown Posse. Like I'm a big fan of Slipknot, so I'll completely
Insane Clown Posse.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're-
Just for a second, I was playing NWA and my mom thought it was Insane Clown Posse.
That's disgusting.
That's
All right,
fucking
that's a
different.
great segue.
Speaking of biopics, that was
last-
also a great
Yeah.
movie.
The last two I'll
Straight Outta
suggest.
Compton was awesome.
I would love the Who to get one.
Yes.
I'm a diehard. That's biased because I'm a diehard Who fan.
Yeah.
And very depressed that they're coming to Citizens Bank Park and they're fucking expensive.
Oh yeah.
And Ailstorm.
Jesus Christ.
They're
Ailstorm.
Ailstorm.
Hail, like
Ale.
hailstorm. Ailstorm.
Ale.
Yeah, it's a pirate metal band.
Oh.
Yeah.
I also think Billy Joel.
All right, that was an ironic
Billy
one,
Joel.
but I would
Michelle
watch the
Obama.
shit out of it. All right,
I mean,
do you want to?
to continue, I mean, Lex just said Michelle Obama. I do think the Obamas are going to get a movie because
They already have a
But
movie.
she's not a musician.
They already
Oh,
have a
wait, no,
movie.
they do.
They do.
But I
They do.
never
But
seen it.
Michelle Obama isn't a musician.
All right.
Yeah.
What band is she in?
We weren't even talking about musicians. I was saying people in general, and you
We were
No,
mostly
we're
talking
naming
about musicians.
musicians.
Really?
All we named
I
were
forgot
musicians.
the question I asked.
Okay,
Well,
so
yeah, there's plenty. There are plenty of women that are deserving of bio.
Look, when Michelle
Yeah,
of
Obama
course.
joins
Riri.
the Jonas Brothers, yeah,
mean,
she deserves a biopic.
Beyonce
I'm
is
just
definitely
kidding.
going to
She
get
doesn't
one
deserve it. She
down the
doesn't deserve a
line.
movie.
Beyonce's not definitely not isn't old enough to be getting one yet.
All right.
How old is she? In the like her 40s or so. So give it like 20 years, you'll find it. You'll get a Beyonce movie.
I don't know. Her fan base. I
You're
don't
sitting
like.
next to two
The people
fans
that
right now,
listen
so
to
you better
Nothing.
watch out.
I have nothing against Beyonce. I don't want to be attacked. I just don't like fan bases that worship her
Keep
as a
going.
deity.
Same with fucking Rihanna.
Well, Rihanna isn't worshipped like a deity.
Yeah. Oh yes, she
No,
fucking
Not
is.
as bad.
Yeah.
My
Oh,
appreciation
trust
level
me,
for Rihanna went
she
through
is.
the roof when she made the 50 fucking shades of foundation for everyone.
She also does the lingerie.
Yeah,
for, like,
which
all
is
different
awesome.
All right. Do you want
All
to?
right. Yeah.
All right. We
okay.
got to get you to a
Okay.
mic, but yeah.
You guys definitely need to be on next episode to give more insight on this,
Yeah.
the foundation and stuff.
All right. So do you want to talk about?
Let's move it over into video games, shall we?
Do you want to
I feel like this is mostly movie and music so far. Let's,
Do you
let's
want to
get a
do
little more
Crusader
on it.
Kings 2 or do you want to talk about Tetris?
Talk about
I want to talk about both.
Yeah,
Crusader
Let's-
Tetris 2.
Let's start a small
Battle
little
Royale.
forum of conversation. Let's the two hottest battle royale games at the moment are two very, very different games. Very, very, very different games. In the red corner, we have
Please be Tetris.
Apex Legends.
Have yet to play it
Why
yet.
is it Tetris in the red corner?
Titanfall-based battle royale game that is taking the streaming community by storm.
But Tetris is from Russia. Why is it
Shout
in the
out-
red corner?
Fortnite's gone down 50%.
Shout out to
That's
Nicky
crazy.
Parisi because he's a hardcore player at Apex, and to my understanding, he's very friggin' good at that game.
But Tetris, why isn't
No,
Tetris
no, no,
in
I'm
the
done.
red corner?
And then in the blue corner, we have the best-selling video game of all time in its most recent incarnation, hailing from Russia. We have Tetris 99.
He's at the Russian.
Tetris 99.
Got it.
So why am I saying these two in the same sentence and in the same conversation? One reason.
Give me a minute. Oh, God.
Hotness. Now think of it. Both of these games come down at a price point of absolutely free.
Munchie had to
What's
get
so
up because
fucking
he's
funny?
laughing too hard.
Munchie just had to get up and like cry for a second. Anyway, so Tetris 99 is the premise behind the game is you're playing Tetris, but against 99 other people, and they can like
It's fucking hilarious.
choose stuff and they can throw it at you and like knock you out.
What?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a battle royale
It's a battle
game.
royale Tetris game against
I thought you
99 other people.
played until everyone
it's-
else lost.
No, it's a legitimate
You can disrupt
battle
other
royale game.
players and then like set settings where like you defend or
I
you
just
go
wanna play
offensive.
Tetris and
And
win.
it's like a quite strategic game. But Tetris is known for being the most the highest selling video game of all time because
didn't know
technically
that.
every incarnation of Tetris basically goes into the same statistic column as Tetris. So any sale of like Puyo Puyo Tetris goes into the original Tetris because the general concept of the game never changed. So they're technically not sequels. They're just basically DLC updates of the game.
I had to take a break. I'm sorry. I'm back. I never thought this would be an actual... I never
Concept,
thought
right?
this would be an actual concept that we would be debating with ever.
I wouldn't say it's much of a debate. I would say this is way more
If you
satirical
told the
because
dude 20 years ago that there's going to be a battle royale version of Tetris,
they would have went fucking nuts. You kidding me?
well, they wouldn't have known what. Yeah, never mind.
Dude, number one, Tetris 99 it's a Nintendo Switch exclusive. You can't play this anywhere else. So this is a hot buy. Like, if you own a Switch and you don't have Tetris 99, get with the program. Like download yourself Tetris 99. All you people that own Switches that listen to this, and you know who I'm talking to. Like, however, we have Apex Legends. If we were to stockpile everybody we know in this basement right now and ask them what the better Royale game is, they're gonna say Apex. With the exception of like a few people, but
I
a
would
lot of
say
people are gonna
Tetris.
say Apex.
Fortnite.
Yeah, because it's the Fortnite style. Like that's the one all the teenage kids are gonna play. That's the one all like the hip
With the
streamer kids are
floss
gonna play.
dance and the thing.
Exactly. But if you put it up against, I'm pretty sure Tetris 99 has the way better concept because Apex has been done.
Yeah.
Tetris is fucking Tetris. Like this is a 1v all Tetris. This is like competitive Tetris for the first time
I just had
ever.
a very horrible thought.
Competitive Tetris?
No, Uno's the original board game battle royale.
What?
What the fuck?
What do you think about it? Yeah.
What are you talking about?
We're talking about
saying
fucking
had
Tetris
99
here.
I don't have to provide explanation. It was a horrible thought that just came to mind. I don't have to defend it.
Oh, let me think.
This is not my
Let
hill
me
to
think.
die on.
Rice
I was
Krispies
literally
is the
about to
best
say that.
cereal in the world. Oh, sorry. It's just a disturbing thought that came into my head right then and there. But yeah, I think Tetris, in my opinion, Tetris 99 is the more impressive battle royale out of both of them by far.
You're gonna fucking
Because
break me
this
again.
game has been pumped out on every system for the past 25, 30 years.
Believe it or not, it's the first thing that was exported from Russia after the Cold War ended.
Tetris. Everybody
Was
wanted
Tetris.
Tetris. And the fact that it honestly inserted itself in the hottest craze and it's doing amazing. It has an 83 score on Metacritic. For reference, Apex has
actually
89.
higher
It's better than No Man's Sky.
Exactly.
Well, it's actually
Both
higher
incarnations of No Man's Sky, the updated version and the regular one. And compared to Apex Legends, Apex has an 89, which is understandably so because it probably has a way different fan base. But
Yeah.
to get an 83 on
It's actually
Tetris,
higher than the
that's
segment we argued about last week.
which one?
Ace Combat.
Exactly.
Ace Combat was a flat 80.
Exactly. Which is impressive because you got Ace Combat's been in development for 6 years.
Yeah.
It's a very hyped up game. Especially me and you. I made a friggin' video about it wearing friggin' aviators to Danger Zone. Like,
That was a great video.
Thank you.
I'm still...
That's still got the most amount of post engagements. Well,
Thank you.
Shout out to Mike's girlfriend for having him film that. Yeah.
Thank you, Brianna.
which Mike?
Brianna got really mad. I was like,
Mike,
take it this way, take it that way, but I want it to be perfect.
The
Oh yeah,
Italian
Mike.
one.
The
Yeah.
one Italian in our group.
What do you mean? You're like,
Yeah,
We're all
Mike,
Italian,
the-
it's a joke.
The Italian guy.
fuck me.
Funny.
But yeah, to put it that way, I definitely want to hear all of your thoughts. You know, hit me up on Twitter, at me on Twitter, DM me on Instagram. Let me know what your favorite battle royale is.
You wanna plug yourself there, or you just want them going to the main account?
No, I
too.
want them attacking random sistos on the internet until they find
We'll
him.
find. Speaking
your
of tagging
best.
random
Wait till you get
people.
that blue check mark.
Do your best, guys.
Yeah, speaking of tagging random people.
Do your best, guys.
Have you ever?
Sisto's gonna become the first person verified because they got all these people attacking him over
so-
Tetris Battle Royale.
So
I
Mark,
was literally on Instagram the other day. I saw the verification setting. I was like, so what do I have to do? So I clicked on it, and I'm like, it's like, so you must provide photo ID. And I'm like, yeah, if they see who I am, they're definitely not giving me that blue check. So
yeah.
All right,
Well,
moving on,
speaking
Crusader
of
Kings.
tagging people, well,
so it's time to regain the
well, I
Holy
want to say
Land.
one thing real quick about tagging. So, if you ever want to have a fun time, a little laugh, go to Mark Zuckerberg's Instagram page. It's @Zuck, right? And you go to his tagged photos, and for whatever reason, most of his tagged photos are Indian guys taking selfies of themselves, and they tag Mark Zuckerberg. it's a thing, and it's hilarious. I just wanted to make that clear to everyone. To our close to 100 likes on Facebook. That's another thing I want to be happy about.
Sad confetti.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's
So
continue.
now it's time to talk about not Istanbul, but Constantinople, as
Yeah.
we dove into.
Oh my god.
Really?
I think Lex is looking at it now. Is it true? Is it still there? Is it still like that? Yeah. Okay.
As we go into Crusader Kings 2. I have been trying to have the patience to get into it. I'm very
It's a deep
sorry.
dive.
me and my friends played one round of Endless Space.
Every time
I couldn't do it. So Crusader Kings is not my game, but I have immense respect
love it.
for it.
It's probably my favorite.
all I've been doing, instead of actually playing the game, I wanted to learn it before I dived in deep. So I've been just watching YouTube how-to videos, how to do this, how to do that.
Yeah.
Special ways to deal with these factions, these multiple fucking layers. Jesus Christ,
Oh,
Mike.
it's a
this
deep,
fucking deep game
game.
that you got me into.
Oh, like our friend.
Shout out to Nick Gallo
yeah,
for giving
shout
me a
out to
free
Nick Gallo
copy.
because
You're a saint.
he relates to when I talk about Crusader Kings.
You deserve the throne.
But like, so it's a deep game. So for I could talk about Paradox games. Like that could be an episode all in itself about how much I love Paradox. So, but Crusader Kings, it's a grand strategy game where you're a ruler in medieval Europe. The game currently starts. The earliest date is right before Charlemagne is crowned the Holy
Yeah.
Roman Emperor, and it goes all the way to the Renaissance. So that's close to 1,000 years, right?
And you've talked about this with Nick, that you actually installed the mod that
It's
immediately
not-
turns
it's
it
not- it's-
into...
So there, so
Or not
Crusader
turns it
Kings-
into, it segues from Crusader
Yeah.
Kings to the what was it again?
So Crusader Kings, goes from like, I'm probably wrong here, but it goes from around 500 AD
it starts at 500.
all the way to about the last. So it ends around 1448 AD, which is right in the beginning of the Renaissance. Like the Renaissance starts like a decade later. Europa Universalis, which is it takes place from the Renaissance to the French Revolution. So that's another 400 years. And Paradox released a DLC for Crusader Kings that allows you to play from Charlemagne to the French Revolution in one giant campaign.
What's your total hours?
So I probably have about maybe 100 hours in Crusader Kings.
That's
It's
it?
yeah. I mean, I don't have a lot of time to play it nowadays, but like, so I've only had one successful game, and it was this game was given to me on a golden platter. But anyway, so what Crusader Kings is that you're a medieval ruler, and you have to make sure your dynasty survives throughout, like survive the test of time. And through doing that, you can play from as small as like a count or a duke, or you could be like the emperor of Byzantium or Byzantium,
Byzantine.
Byzantium,
Byzantine.
Byzantium. It's the same thing. Or like, or you could be Charlemagne. You could or That's right,
Yeah,
Charlemagne.
not Charlemagne.
And like, but you can also like forge your own empire type of thing. And so, on top of that, there's also a social aspect to it. So like, you can make friends, you can make rivals. You have to deal with marriage. You have to deal with
Fighting polar bears.
well, that's the thing. You have to deal with children. You also have to deal with different factions that are claiming the throne. Factions that because all the AI in the game, they have their own agenda. They themselves want to improve themselves in the
Yeah.
game. So they can start factions that will cause your country to fall into a civil war. Like they can go for, like, they want more power on the council. They want to succeed from your empire, your kingdom, or they themselves want to be the emperor. So my recent run through was just the only run through that I've ever had success in. Is that they have a bookmark in the game where it's the beginning of the Viking Age, so around 850 something AD. And so I started as Sweden, and eventually, as a pagan religion. So there are multiple pagan religions that are like outside the established religion of the book, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So you have Christianity, Roman Catholicism, you have Orthodoxy, you have Islam, Sunni, and Shiite Islam. And then you have all the pagan religions. So you have Slavic, Germanic, like all the different pagan religions. You also have like African religions and stuff. So I started as the Sweden king, and in order for you're able to reform your religion if you're a pagan.
Oh God, what'd you do?
Well, so you're able to reform your religion as a pagan, and in order to do that, you need to claim holy sites. So the game has bookmarked around the map, and you have to claim them. And you have to have, they have to be in your realm. On top of that, you also have to have. So each religion has moral authority, and if the authority goes far too low, you're prone to heresy and like different religions and sprouting up. So in order to reform a pagan religion, in order to be on par with like Christianity and Islam, you have to have so many holy sites, and you also have to have your moral authority high enough. And so I magically was able to claim the 2 holy sites that are near mine, because Sweden starts with one. So I had 3 in
What
start.
were they, Mike?
Well, one of the holy sites is in modern day Denmark, and another one's in Finland. So I started that, and then I was able to reform it, so I was already like on par with Christianity.
What was the religion?
It was Germanic paganism, which was
My
really
God.
cool.
And you had it on par with Christianity.
Yeah, and so I
That's like what I
continued
did in
to
Civ Rev, where I had everybody, or not Civ Rev, where I had everybody in Civ 5 mad at me because I spread the word of Judaism across people who haven't even found my faction yet, because I invested everything into religion and I just spread it like wildfire.
But a cool thing is that if you're a pagan and like you reform a religion, your ruler, your emperor, becomes the head of the religion. So you're able to declare great holy wars that cause all members from your religion to serve you. So I was able to conquer the entirety of Scandinavia and became the Scandinavian emperor while also being the religious head of the Germanic pagans. And I had
Sister's just
basically
going, what the fuck is this?
yeah,
No, I'm Catholic. This happens. I recognize it.
but so I had
Catholic popes have done this before.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Pope Sisto has done it. There's more Pope Sisto. Look it up.
well,
Look it up.
the Crusades.
It's
The
a thing.
Crusades are a big thing in that. So you can
Exactly.
you can have
Which is
Crusades
why I'm not
happen.
really- I
They
understand
have
it.
they have the Children's Crusade in it. They have the Peasants Crusade. But so I was able to conquer the entirety of Scandinavia. All of Russia, all of Germany, most of France, and all of England. England. Oh my God, what pope is that?
Pope Sisto, apparently.
So anyway, yeah, so I was able to do that. While that was happening, the Pope kept trying to declare crusades against me. And so when you're a Germanic pagan, you can become a member of the Wolf Lounge or the Warrior Lounge, which makes your leader just have ridiculous stats when it comes to strategy and like conquering things. So like they'll be throwing like armies where I'm outnumbered like 3-1, and my ruler would just completely wipe them from the map.
Jesus Christ.
And then so also and then you can capture commanders that are part of the army, and they're usually like the prominent like political figures. Like say like if a king is
I'm sorry we're interrupting. The sidetrack here is that we've been looking up Pope Sisto, and he found proof. Congratulations. I don't know what else to say other than that. Go start another holy war. I don't know what to tell you.
but anyway, so I would have like kings lead armies against me, and then outnumber 3-1, and then completely wipe them out and have them retreat while also capturing the king and then sending several places. Like I had the king of France, and then I fucking sacrificed him to Odin, and I got
Sounds
buff
right.
traits from it. And also so there's.
This is great.
That's fucked.
And so, at the end of the game, I had all these lands conquered. It was nearing the end game. Christianity, as you know it, was completely taken over by the Lollard faith. Faith, which is which is a heresy that goes off from Christianity. Byzantium was not touched. They were completely okay. The Muslims never had a crusade called against them because they were all against me. The Pope tried calling a crusade near the end, and it ranks the power of how the backing of each side.
And it was like 1,000-1.
Yeah,
It was some ridiculous number that you told me.
The Catholics had about 50%. I had over 10,000 power to the point that it was no longer on the text box that I gave it. It stretched off of it. But so yeah, and then I transferred it over to Europa Universalis, and I kind of got smacked by France, but I don't want to really talk about. Well, France wasn't part of France anymore. France was in Italy. That's what they had.
It sounds like as bad as how. I mean, I'm not segueing in. It's as bad as my Total War II campaign went. And I tried finishing it.
Yeah.
I tried finishing the campaign later on, and the
water.
Oh,
I need water.
I'm wondering what you're pointing at.
Sorry, I didn't want to.
Oh no, it's okay.
Just say water.
Yeah, at that
Water.
point.
Say it.
All right. So what I did for Total War Rome 2 in my first playthrough, I played as Rome and failed miserably. My second playthrough, I played as the Gaelic Confederacy.
Oh my God.
Wait, the what?
The Gaelic Confederacy.
So Ireland?
Well, back then it was Oh no, not Gaelic.
Saxon?
Germanic barbarians, I think that's what they were.
Yeah.
Know that one.
That's what I played as. I played as that confederacy. I completely took over Europe. I eliminated Rome early. I just became a European powerhouse. And I think
Jesus.
I broke history by doing so, but I completely took over
I
the
completely
map.
broke
The
history
biggest-
in the way in Crusader Kings.
The biggest pain in the ass was taking over like the Middle Eastern maps and African maps because of how bad Persia piled up their forces.
Oh yeah.
But I finally did that, and I didn't go back because the further it updated, the harder it was to play old game saves. Because Creative Assembly still lacks in fixing those mistakes. In your personal opinion, because I'll keep this short, what was your favorite Total War game? I feel like I know what your answer's going to be.
Well, my favorite right now is probably Warhammer 2.
Yeah.
Just because the Warhammer universe is a lot of fun.
Oh, no, it is. But the thing is, though, it takes away
from what
Total War
Total
was
War
about.
is supposed to be, but it does it well.
That's what pissed me out when I would play Warhammer, because I would have like these. I would lose matches where I outnumbered them 3-1 because they had these notable people as powerhouses.
Oh, if
in
you
their
played
map.
as the Chaos, the armies of
it bothered
Chaos.
me so much.
Chaos is so if you haven't played the game, Chaos is supposed to be the end game. Like they're
Yeah, no. That's what
they're
it's.
supposed to represent. Well, Sisto hasn't played it.
And I held up. I tried to
Speaking of
help
me,
them.
Yeah.
sorry.
Well. So Chaos is it's the end game for every other faction. They're basically like supposed to be the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. And
In Warhammer 1 campaign, I ended up losing because of the Chaos endgame, because the biggest pain in the ass when playing humans in Warhammer was uniting all the other human factions. For dwarves, it was easier. For orcs, it was easier. For even the elvish, it was... Even for vampires, it was fucking easier. The humans were just fucking stubborn, which is, I guess, a great metaphor.
yeah,
But it was
like,
because it
it's
took me...
true in real life. I mean,
Because it took me so long to unite them, it was the reason I lost the Chaos faction. Because I was taking over human realms, not focusing on other maps, and then I ended up having to fight vampire factions way too late in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I liked Total War. My favorite will still be Shogun 2.
yeah. I probably put the most amount of hours in Medieval 2.
I put the most in Shogun 2. But that's kind of why I stayed away from Warhammer for as long as I did, because what Total War is about and what's true to history is most battles were giant slaughters for one side.
Mm-hmm.
It was always mostly being outnumbered 5-1. Most notable battles in history stand out because there were the very rare even matched factions that went out against each other. Most medieval battles were straight out slaughters for one side.
Yeah.
But all in all, I would rank Shogun 2 as the best Total War game. Equal. I would put Warhammer and Warhammer 2 in a separate
Yeah.
ranking
If you're
because of the
talking-
fantasy aspect, but in sort of realism, I liked what Shogun 2 did.
Yeah.
Because it played democracy battle very well, and that's why I liked it too so much.
Yeah, if we want to go with historical Total War, I like the battle aspect that Attila had. I also like.
I still got.
I really liked. So Attila is, it's told like as a story. So like it starts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it starts at the before Attila is born, and it goes chapters. So like before Attila's born.
Oh fuck!
And then he becomes the leader of the Huns.
Yeah.
And then the fall of Attila. So like it's 4 chapters, but it's told like as the Book of Revelations. So
I gotta
Attila
play
is like he is the end of the world. Like Attila has
No,
one
he
of the
was,
most
though.
Attila has one of the most badass nicknames in history. He was considered the Scourge of Christ.
oh my god.
Yeah,
you didn't
that
know
was his nickname.
Yeah.
The only like famous nickname I ever know is Vlad the Impaler.
Who was that?
You can play as
Vlad
Vlad
the
the
Impaler?
Imperial
No,
in Europa
okay.
Europa Universalis.
I don't
If you
know
start
who the
as
fuck he is, but, yeah.
if you start in the very early in the game, you can play as Vlad Dracula.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Oh my
isn't that
God.
what Dracula's based off of? Is Vlad?
Yeah.
It was
the
Vlad.
Impaler?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. No, people were convinced that he was a vampire.
While we're speaking
Um,
are we speaking of war technically? Because a fun fact just popped into my mind about war.
Well,
It's up to
before
you,
your
'cause I
fun
wanna
fact,
go-
can I just say what I liked about Attila because I didn't complete my thought?
Absolutely.
So Attila had Attila was the first Total War game to try to incorporate. Well, so the sieges were different. I mean, the battles were fun, but the sieges were different in the way that like it started to incorporate damage to the city. So if you set the town on fire, like the morale of the defending army starts to decrease. So like then you're like fighting like
so that would be interesting.
so then you're fighting tooth and nail in the middle of a street while the entire town's on fire. They also add peasants in the game. They're on the fields.
Ooh.
So like you're walking through and like you walk through like you march your army through a farm and like you have this like peasant woman walk up to you with a rake and your guy just chops her down as he keeps walking.
Yeah, no, that would not be
Yeah.
a great day for
It's
peasants
also
if I play that game.
It's also the first Total War game to incorporate migrating factions.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta get-
the
I
hunts
gotta-
the hunts are migrating factions, so you have to deal with that. It's a different type of strategy.
I gotta wait for it for the next sale.
But it's also broken because it was based off of Rome 2, which Rome 2 was broken. But we can talk about that another day.
I'm gonna skip.
But Sisto, go ahead with your fun fact.
Okay. So, are you guys familiar with General Norman Schwarzkopf?
I know General Tso's chicken.
Oh my fucking God. Do you, Mike?
No, I'm not.
No.
You look very
So,
nice today, Sisto.
thank you. General Schwarzkopf led the United States forces in the Persian Gulf War.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, to put it in perspective, there's a famous picture of him wearing 2 watches on either wrist.
Okay.
So he wears
Because
one
it's
watch
always
on
time
one
to
wrist
diddle.
and one watch on the other. The name of the watches don't matter, but it's become a fashion term that if you wear one watch on one wrist and then one watch on another, it's called a Schwarzkopf. It's a fashion term.
I did not know that.
What the fuck's the point?
Thanks.
Fun fact.
You should get into Schwarzkopf.
You have to be mean about it.
All right, so I'm gonna skip over my comic book recommendations. I'll save that for the next podcast.
No, if you want to go through them real quick, because we do have to start wrapping up.
Okay,
But if you
I'd
wanna-
rather,
About 10 minutes left.
I'd rather do my underrated games.
Okay. Yeah.
I actually really want to hear about this.
Whatever.
I
Books
have
are-
no clue what the fuck this is.
Comic books are forever. Mungie's underrated game, super fun sparkle segment.
before
is
you go on-
Now
forever.
it's time for Mungie's Corner.
Real quick, the Thrawn trilogy is still the best expanded universe non-canon book.
Okay.
I'll debate that. I don't want to get into
You're
it.
kidding. Okay.
I'll debate it. All right. So I wanted to talk about these two very fun, underrated games that are very underappreciated. First off, I want to start out with Star Trek Bridge Crew.
I saw Oni play that.
If you didn't know what Star Trek Bridge Crew was, it started off as a VR
Yeah.
experience where you would be on the Star Trek command deck. You could be the commander. You can give out orders. You can work as the engineer.
It's
You
like
can work as the
Kobayashi
pilot.
Maru, kind of.
In a way. And I'm only saying in a way because I've never heard of that.
You're a Star Trek fan and you don't know what the Kobayashi Maru is?
Kobayashi Maru. Oh yeah, the Kobayashi Maru. I'm blanking out. I know.
The simulation.
The simulation
That's
that's
impossible
very
to
impossible.
beat.
No, the Kobayashi Maru's in Star Trek Bridge Crew as a simulation. I don't know why I
Exactly.
blanked out on that. Yeah, no.
Wow.
Shut the. I know. It took me a while for my brain to turn on there.
I understand.
Do you want to?
Continue.
Do you want to go, man?
No.
I'll mess you up. I swear on me, mom. Okay.
I look like a fucking octopus.
All right. I played it on the PS4 because they finally updated it that you didn't need VR. It is challenging to play without VR because it's all controller support.
Yeah.
It is. I played with people. It was the most fun I've had in a game in multiplayer. I hate playing multiplayer 9 times out of 10. Interacting with a small group of people that were devoted to realism and role-playing in Star Trek was awesome. I was an engineer. The engineers in the roles of that game is divert power. It's very important, especially you want to warp. You have to divert power as fast as you can. Assign people to repair certain equipment when they fail, and you get up scenarios that you have to handle with diverting power. I got yelled at by a fucking guy because I didn't acknowledge him as commander.
Yeah.
And everybody fucking turned on me.
Jesus Christ. I mean, I've played games that are that serious. Like
I had that,
Fucking nerds.
and then I had a very chill group of people that I ended up adding as PS4 friends because they were that much fucking fun to play with. I've never done that before. If you want a good time, there's still a bunch of people playing it because Star Trek The Next Generation DLC got added to that, so there's a lot more people playing it. Highly recommend. I also wanted to talk about another one, which would be War Thunder. So War Thunder has been around for a very, very long time. It competed with World of Tanks for being a World War II, basically a tank simulator in the sense that you're battling with all these tank options. Mm-hmm. Then War Thunder branched out with having actually no, it was airplanes first with War Thunder. Then they started out with tanks. Mm-hmm. And I love it. I love it so much because you get to fly these planes, you get to build, and then the best part is with War Thunder is that it was free to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's free on Steam.
It's free on Steam. It's free on PS4 too.
Oh wow!
And I donated money to it. I bought.
Look at you.
I was a premium member for 2 years. That's how deep I was invested in the game. I sucked, but I loved playing it.
And I put $50 in the Friday the 13th game that was immediately abandoned by devs in a year.
But
just had a bitch about that.
If you want a free to play game, if you're interested in the history, I highly recommend
Tetris 99.
Yeah, but
I highly recommend War Thunder. Thank you.
So to plug our Facebook page, Mungie put a video of War Thunder.
Oh yeah, that was it. Tank raving.
Yeah.
Where a tank glitched. The best thing, I'm going to put this GIF into, War Thunder, when it came out with the tank faction, or with the tank option of playing with tanks, there was a kill cam to show when you would get killed, which pissed a lot of people off because it would ping exactly where you got shot, whether it be the ammo dump, the engine, or the final kill shots that are available. And then they added the actual shell going in. And the only explanation I could have is that the shell is separate from what's actually shot. It's just animated to where it's supposed to go. Mm-hmm. So you would have these gifs of just the shell going in and just being like a magic bullet just ricocheting around the tank until it just gets into the fuel tank. And the best one where it was
That's
just
taunting.
It was like
That's like taunting.
I hate to compare it to this. But it was basically JFK's magic
thinking
bullet
that too.
theory for tanks, and I'm getting shocked. Look, Sisto, I'm so
Sisto's
sorry.
walking away.
You don't like my magic bullet tank theory? This is what you get. Oh no!
Oh god, he has
No.
the presidential
Oh.
motorcade. Oh god!
No.
Sister, did you have so in high school, did you have Mr. Gorski? So in high school, I had an entire...
What?
Why do you have so many
Why do you
presidential
have-
motorcades?
So
Next time you make that fucking joke, think about this.
Jesus Christ.
Why don't we have little dolls from?
all right,
My
you gotta
grandfather
take
did, but he took them out.
a picture for the.
Yeah, I'll
for
take
the
I'll
group.
take a photo
To have the
for...
audio explanation, Sisto just dropped 2 models of JFK's car, and now I just feel horrible.
Yeah, it's... So in high school, did you, Sisto, did you have Gorski?
Yeah, no,
Watch
let's
the
switch-
Zapruder films, yes.
Yeah,
quite a lot.
so we
Quite often,
had
yes, we
our
watched them
history
a lot
teacher
of times.
junior year. He had us dedicate an entire unit. So like
The
2 months
JFK
to
conspiracy.
the JFK assassination and its conspiracy.
To be fair, though, it's
It's, you know,
the most common conspiracy ever, and the fact that the films and documents were released a couple years ago still leave a lot of things unanswered. But I don't want to delve into that
yeah, we're not
because they're
going to
going to
be
bring
that
out the car
podcast.
again, and I'm
There
going to get
are
a lot
several
of
true
shit.
crime and conspiracy podcasts. They'll give a shout out to the last podcast on the left that did a... I don't know if they did a JFK one yet, but they did one about other ones. But
So I think I want to wrap up. I know we're not a big podcast yet. I know we're not. I want to throw out suggestions to ones I've been listening to,
Yeah.
if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
The piracy podcast that I've been following for a long time has been very interesting. If you're interested in pirate history, I am, and that's why I suggest it. It has 150 episodes with people like Matt Ryan.
Ahoy, Pirate Mungie.
And it has pop culture guests that come onto the show that have either portrayed pirates or have wrote books on pirates, and I have multiple books on pirates. Yes, I like pirates. Sue me. I don't know what to tell you. I also suggest, and I'm going to get eye rolls for this, Clear and Vivid with Alan Alda. If you want something that's very soft-spoken, and if you want something that'll make you feel more empathetic towards the people, Alan Alda's a great voice for that. He preaches very much to be more empathetic to one another. If you want something like that, I highly suggest that as well.
Cool. Awesome. That's some good recommendations.
Well, that's just about all we have today.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, I also just realized something. We didn't introduce ourselves in the beginning, so we got to do that at the end.
Why? You're all named Mike.
Well, we all have different last names, honey.
And you're
So
Lex.
cares?
Congratulations.
Lexi Boo Bear.
You want to fuck
Okay.
metal?
So, we're going to wrap up this bad boy with that amazing conclusion by Midnight Munge.
The silky smooth
Silky
sounds
smooth.
of Midnight Munge.
Jesus Christ.
Okay,
Very well
so
done.
what's coming up, guys? Do you have anything coming up?
I don't know. I think Sisto's going to win in Endgame.
Yeah, and well, I mean,
Captain Marvel's coming on.
so coming up in the next 2 weeks, we got Captain Marvel coming out, so we'll be discussing that. We are definitely, so there's a new Star Wars coming out this December, so that trailer's coming out soon.
Yikes.
And we're probably, once that trailer comes out, we can definitely see an entire episode of us ranting about Star Wars. Because personally, it's my favorite movie series. I don't know if I can speak for the rest of the mics here.
You can.
Yeah,
I
me.
do like the Tommy Wiseau collection is the best,
That too.
You lost your mic privileges.
but I'm Mike.
I know.
Okay, so, yeah. So anyway, let's, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in.
Hopefully you laughed.
We
Hopefully you
cried.
cried.
Hopefully you peed. a
recommend to your friends. We are nearing 100 likes on Facebook.
Yeah, give us a
we
like,
should-
give it a shout out. If you like us, give it a recommendation. If not,
little. Absolutely. Mention us on your podcast.
You know
Mention
what?
us to your family.
Yeah.
I do want to understand, we do appreciate feedback, so do message us if you have
Yeah.
any input. Or stuff
Slide
that we
into-
want to talk about.
Slide into our DMs. We will respond.
Don't slide into his, just message me about what you want to do. You can slide into Sisto's DM if you feel that way.
Yeah.
Or slide into the main DMs of the main
Choose Your Character
profile.
podcast.
Yeah,
So
we do have a
you
main
can-
profile so we don't get...
You can like us at Choose Your Character on Facebook. You can follow us on both Twitter and Instagram at C_Y_character. We are currently at 47 followers and Choose Your Character on Instagram. If we can get up to that 50 in the next 2 weeks, I think we can do it. We are definitely going to hit that 100 this week. I can feel it on
I
Facebook.
can feel it in my bones.
As for Twitter,
know
I'm
what
not
accent
entirely
that
sure what we're at yet. I definitely can look it up, but I do appreciate all the early followers we have. We love you all.
I mean, I like you as a
Absolutely.
friend.
And thanks
Yeah.
for staying for this extended edition of the CYC pod.
I just got a
We did
notification.
miss last episode.
Just got a notification. We're now at 98.
Oh, shit.
We're now. Well, no, not 98.
Oh, shit.
We're now at 48
Oh.
follows at Choose Your Character
Yeah.
because
Please stop. Stop.
Lex just followed us. Thank you for taking 2 months to follow us.
I didn't even know you missed it.
Okay.
Notification thing.
Anyway. But thanks for listening. I'm Marcucci.
I'm Sisto.
And I am Kentucky Fried Mungie this week.
Jesus Christ. Thanks for listening. Have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good 2 weeks. Stay safe. Godspeed, Spider-Man. Have a good one.